Ladies and gentlemen, that's the starting.
Hello and welcome to the final week of the first half of the California Collegiate League play before the All-Star break and game held in Reno, Nevada this upcoming weekend. Tonight we have the Santa Barbara Foresters coming south to Pasadena to take on the Arroyo Seco Saints. Good afternoon and welcome to Jackie Robinson Memorial Field, and for our broadcast producer Jack Badsey, I'm Riley Horn here alongside my broadcast partner Max Langer. Max, the Saints entered tonight after a 3-game road trip up to San Luis Obispo, where after dropping Game 1, the Saints took down Game 2 before then losing the final game of the series to finish 1-2 on the weekend. In the last week of play before the All-Star break, what's it going to take tonight to bounce back not only from a losing weekend, but also a pretty rough first half of the season for Arroyo Seco?
Yeah, first of all, great to be with you here tonight, Riley, and Jack as well sitting to our left. I think a lot of times when a team hasn't played well, it starts with the offense, but for the Saints, their offense has been pretty good. It's not the reason why they've lost twice as many games as they've won. The reason has been the pitching. And they got to get going here tonight against the Foresters offense that is really, really tough. That's the bad part. The good thing is if they can get the pitching good, it gives them a lot of confidence going forward that they're able to do it against a team as dominant on the offensive side as the Foresters.
On the other hand, the Foresters come to Pasadena tonight after having a heavy past week. Week ago tonight, squaring off against the MLB Academy Barons that kicked off a 6-game in 6-day stretch, which just ended on Sunday. Santa Barbara going 4-2. Throughout that 6-game stretch, but after a 6-day bender with just 1 day off, it's a good day for the Saints to capitalize on what has to be a pretty worn-out Foresters team.
Yeah, the Foresters, this is their first game of a 6-game road trip, so you'd love to start it off with the Saints to give the Foresters a loss, right? They've won 2 in a row. Before that, they'd lost 2 in a row, so 2-2 in their last 4, but before that, they had won 11 consecutive games. So this is the cream of the crop of the CCL, any of the divisions, North and South right here in the Foresters, so this is going to be a really good chance right now for the Saints to get right against this Foresters team.
Bottom of the CCL South looks to take down the top of the division as the Arroyo Seco Saints play host to the Santa Barbara Foresters. All the action coming up right after this here on the Saints Streaming Network. Welcome to Jackie Robinson Memorial Field here in Pasadena for the Santa Barbara Foresters coming down to take on the Arroyo Seco Saints here on a cloudy Tuesday afternoon in Pasadena. Taking a look at the Santa Barbara Foresters starting lineup, Kurt Ippolito leading things off in right field. Sawyer Farr, the shortstop, batting second. Addison Klepsch, the second baseman, batting third. Cleaning things up, Carter Rutenbar, the first baseman. Designated hitter Caleb Hoover bats fifth. Chris Newsom, sixth, the third baseman. Cole Chamberlain in left field bats seventh. Zane Becker behind the dish batting eighth. And rounding things out is Brady Janusek, the center fielder. They're going to go to battle against the Saints starting arm Wyatt Toth.
Yeah, Wyatt Toth on the mound tonight for the Saints. Last time out, he started on Wednesday at Compton. He hit and pitched in that game, but tonight just on the mound as Owen Mangini hits at third. Late slides over to first, so Sean Asperger is DHing, which puts Toth just on the mound, and he was really good last time out. 5 innings, only 2 earned runs. Of course, the bullpen did not hold the game right where it was for the Saints, and they ended up losing that one big time, but a positive start out last time for Toth to build upon here against this offense in the Foresters.
Getting ready to get underway with first pitch. The Arroyo Seco Saints playing host to Santa Barbara Foresters. Fouled off by the leadoff man, Kurt Ippolito. Officially a 5:48 first pitch. Toth on the season with a 6.92 ERA through 13 total innings, giving up 10 earned runs on 12 hits. Called strike. Quickly 0-2 ahead of Ippolito, who will be making the trip out to Reno, Nevada as one of 9 All-Stars for the Santa Barbara Foresters. Leadoff man batting .407 with 9 RBIs, 6 swiped bags. Good guy to have up at the top of your order.
Toth on the mound, a 5-pitch guy, but he throws the fastball 3/4 of the time, 75%. He'll go with the heater.
That one down low, stopped behind the dish by Nick Nishiwa.
Also features the curve, splitter, slider, and a change. So it's either the hard stuff in a fastball or a lot of spin.
That one fought off by Ippolito, already running up the pitch count pretty early here of Wyatt Toth through just one batter. That's now 5 pitches. Up comes number 6 in a 1-2 count with the bases empty and nobody gone. Toth deals. It's down low again. Count evens up. Yeah, it's kind of been the strategy is to go heavy on that fastball, then get guys in 2-strike counts, and then you can just use the whole rest of the kitchen sink of off speeds to try and get that put-away pitch. 2-2. Once again fought off by Ippolito.
Well, 5:45 the first pitch tonight, Riley, and although it's not exactly picture-perfect weather, for us here in Pasadena, it's a nice respite from the sweltering heat that we typically get on these game days.
This one's in the air. Shallow left field. Charging in, Panarisi makes the grab on the run for out number 1. Going around the rest of the defensive arrangement for Arroyo Seco. Panarisi making the grab out and left. To his left is Brandon Wynn in center field. Cannon King in right. Around the horn on the infield, Owen Mangini in the hot corner. Jacob Freer at short. Braden Flores second. Zach Light with the trap at first. Nick Nishiwa completes the battery with the starting pitcher Wyatt Toth. And up steps Sawyer Farr, the shortstop in the 2-hole for the Foresters. First pitch, breaking pitch, just off the inside edge.
Yeah, 70 degrees here, mostly cloudy from a weather perspective, and makes it a little bit harder for the outfielders for us to follow the ball, but much more pleasant from a temperature perspective.
Absolutely. Great temperature-wise, and the sun not beating down is a huge help as well. Like you mentioned, right around 70 degrees, fully cloudy as this one's on the ground. To the second baseman, Flores, who handles easily and goes to first with it. Out here in Pasadena, it's normally hotter than a penny in a parking lot, and today it's nice, refreshing, cloudy day to cool down the weather just a little bit.
Yeah, benefiting Wyatt Toth so far, 2 up and 2 down, and both of these pitches that the Foresters have put into play have been outside on the corners of the strike zone. So a good job working the edges, living on the edge for Wyatt Toth so far in this one.
First pitch called strike to Addison Klepsch. .333 batting average with 9 hits and 8 knocked in so far this summer for the Foresters' second baseman. That one's just downstairs. Count evens up at 1 apiece. Yeah, Toth been a strong arm for Arroyo Seco so far this summer. Been pretty consistent, and normally in his starts, he pulls the Shohei Ohtani and hits for himself. But today, he's not DHing in the spot of himself. He's only doing the pitching today, so it'll be interesting to see if that changes his mentality a little bit. He can focus on just doing one thing today, and so far, like you mentioned, 2 up, 2 down, it's working to his benefit.
Yeah, they had kind of used him as that guy who both hits and pitches, but he hadn't really been playing that well at the plate. And so Aaron Milam today obviously opting to just throw him on the mound, take his bat out of the lineup, and the Saints have a lot of really good hitters. So I think you're absolutely right. Maybe just getting him to focus on one thing. We see that a lot with Ohtani, for example, where sometimes he'll be a better pitcher when they take his bat out of the lineup, and hoping for the same for Toth. And again, a strike away from getting out of this first inning against a Foresters lineup. 2 of the top 3 guys are headed to Reno.
2-2 just downstairs. Count runs full, 3-2. Yeah, the Saints' offense been really strong, like you mentioned. You know, a 6-12 record doesn't really do it justice, but 279 team average with a 392 on base percentage is an ugly swing comes out of Addison Klepsch on the payoff pitch, and he goes down on the strikeout. 3 up, 3 down to start this one off. We'll head to the home half of the first here in Pasadena.
All right, hello and welcome everyone live from Jackie Robinson Field here in Pasadena. Evan Davis joined alongside Adam Beck, and it's the home opener for the Arroyo Seco Saints. Looks like it will hit into the gap. Yes, it will, and it will score a run off the glove of Pollock. That will score 2. It's quickly 4-0 top of the first inning for the Oaks. 3-1 offering, low and away for ball 4, and that will bring in the first run of the game. It's outside, ball 4. Fisher stumbling off the mound, and the Saints just finding any way possible to get some runs, and they've now walked in 2. With the Saints as a pass ball gets away. 5-2 lead for the Oaks. 2-1 offering, that one down the third base. Beltowski will fire that one across. And 1 out now, but the runners advance to now be 5-3. First and second as they connect again. Rio didn't get a great read on that, and it's over his head. Ground roll double, and this game is tied. The 1-1 offering is...
Back here for the second half of the first inning. Saints keeping the Foresters scoreless in the top half of the first. It's been a little bit of a problem they've had is allowing those first-run innings throughout this summer, but so far 3 up, 3 down first half inning for Wyatt Toth on the mound for Arroyo Seco. On the mound now for the Santa Barbara Foresters, Jack Fowler.
Yeah, Fowler, another guy in this Foresters team that was named an All-Star today. They've got 9 of them. That leads everybody in the CCL from a team perspective. 6th game of the year on the mound for Fowler. He faced the Saints 20 days ago on June 10th, and the Saints kind of got to him, actually. 2 runs. They pulled Fowler in the top of the 3rd inning, did the Foresters. So very much a good job from the Saints offense that has done a really good job against the elite starting pitchers. Fowler is one of them. They knocked around Spencer Gallimore on Saturday in slow, and last time out for Fowler, he went 5 innings, only allowed 1 run. But, you know, the Saints are going to need to do what they did last time against Fowler and give Toth and the rest of the pitching staff, some support.
Yeah, to your point, 9 All-Stars for the Foresters, Fowler being one of them. Saints with 4 of their own, Joe O'Regan being the only one on the pitching staff side of things, but the other 3 being position players, all 3 within the top 4 batters of this Arroyo Seco Saints lineup. Braden Flores being one of them. He leads things off. Carson Panarisi second. Freer and Light in the 3-4 holes. They're both going out to Reno for the All-Star game as well. Owen Mangini batting 5th. Brandon Wynn 6th. Cannon King 7th. Nick Nishiwa 8th. And Sean Asperger rounding things out in the 9th spot. 1-1 the count to the All-Star in Braden Flores. So he takes a hack, fouls it off, 1-2.
Yeah, I talked to Aaron Milam for about a half hour yesterday, and one thing he told me about Braden was that he is a guy that just kind of got placed here from LMU. They didn't know a lot about him, and Milam learning about what Braden Flores can do from both sides of the plate has been super impressed. as he fouls this one off. And, you know, the Saints have, again, mixed up their lineup a lot this year, not just who's in it, but the spots they're in. And for Flores, basically, he's played in every single game this season except for the second game of the year, June 6th on the road at Compton. He's played in every single the rest of the game and in the leadoff spot pretty much.
This one on the ground to Newstrom at third, who fires across in time to retire Flores. Newstrom at third, Sawyer Farr at short, Addison Klepsch at second, Carter Rutenbar over at first base, Zane Becker behind the dish for the Foresters, and left to right in the outfield is Cole Chamberlain, Brady Janusek, and Kurt Ippolito. Up steps Carson Panarisi. First offering to him is on the ground to the shortstop Farr. Gets it over to first base in time for the one-pitch putout. Back-to-back pitches, back-to-back groundouts for Jack Fowler, the All-Star Foresters pitcher, who on the season or the summer has a 2.30 ERA and a 2-0 record through 4 starts. 15 2/3 innings pitched, giving up just 4 earned runs on 8 hits, with 15 strikeouts to 8 walks. So he's a guy who's consistently in the zone and getting weak contact, as we've seen so far here today with 2 groundouts.
Yeah, everybody deserving of an all-star selection, but especially so for Fowler. He's a 4-pitch mix guy, the fastball, the curveball, the changeup, and the slider, and they just move so much. I mean, you see the 2 groundouts right there, ball starting at the top of the zone, dipping down. He's got great stuff, and so far as we've seen tonight, great command as well.
1-1 count to the soon-to-be all-star Jacob Freer with a .314 average, 6 RBIs, and 16 hits so far this summer. Tonight playing shortstop for the Saints. Second-year Saint, was here last summer after finishing up a couple years at Azusa Pacific University. Now going to be headed to the D1 level up in Northern California Bay Area at Santa Clara University. Taking his talents to the Broncos organization, and now in a 1-2 count against Jack Fowler, who kicks and deals. This one's off the outside, 2-2. Freer, again, the shortstop tonight. Really a utility guy, playing all spots of the infield, getting some starts at designated hitter so far for the Saints this summer as well. Been a guy who's consistently found himself in the lineup, and deservedly so, as he's getting himself an all-star selection as well. Looks like that one caught the elbow of Freer, although doesn't look like the home plate umpire agreed with it, so I think Freer's going to have to continue his at-bat.
That's interesting. Usually you'll see the home plate umpire call the hit by pitch, and now we're going to have a little discussion here. Third base coach is coming over. Saints also have a new first base coach today, Riley. Something of note.
Aaron Milam, the third base coach and head coach of the Arroyo Seco Saints, having a conversation with the home plate umpire, trying to figure out what exactly happened. Not sure if that one went down as a foul ball off the knob of the bat or just one that ran a little too far inside. Freer said it hit him. Obviously, with no replay systems here in summer ball, we're not going to have any other way to look at it, but the umpires are going to have a little conference, see if anybody saw anything out of the ordinary.
Well, I mean, there's nobody on and 2 outs in the first inning. So if there was a spot to make up a hit by pitch, I don't think this would this would necessarily qualify as it.
Long conference so far between the umpires here debating this hit by pitch. As you can see, throughout this game so far, the Saints going with their wedding gown whites with the blue Saints stripe across the chest. Foresters going with the blue tops, blue caps on the gray pants. We have our ruling. Looks like the at-bat is going to continue. We'll figure out here in a second if that one went down as a foul ball or just a general ball overall.
Well, the count, maybe they ruled it a foul ball, which would mean the count would stay at 2-2.
That's my guess. Didn't see any hand signals from the home plate umpire, but we'll continue. That one's down low, and now the count goes full, so you would be correct. 3-2 now the count to Freer. Zane Becker wearing that one off the ricochet from the dirt and taking an extra second to catch his breath. Looks like he's all right. So we'll continue with a 2-out full count scenario to Jacob Freer with the bases empty. Been 5 up, 5 down so far on both sides through this one. Payoff pitch in the air to left. Shading back on it is Chamberlain, and he makes the grab for a 3 up, 3 down inning on the Saints front. 6 up, 6 down through 1 inning. We're headed to the second here in Pasadena. Back here for the second inning, and Jackie Robinson Memorial Field. Santa Barbara Foresters and the Arroyo Seco Saints. Riley Horn alongside Max Langer. That'll be the 4, 5, 6 spots after a 6 up, 6 down first inning. Both starting pitchers getting a clean first, although a little bit of a controversy last half inning with the third batter of the inning, and Jacob Freer had a little delay in terms of trying to figure out if he was hit by a pitch or whether it was a foul ball off the knob of the bat. We weren't too sure, but either way it went down as a foul ball off the knob of the bat, as this one's lined sharply to right off the bat of Carter Rutenbar and hauled in by Cannon King for out number 1.
Well, I got a text from one of our other broadcasters, Nick, during the break, and he said it definitely hit him. Now, Nick, unlike us, has the benefit of going back on the stream and looking at the play as many times as he wants. So I tend to trust Nick here and trust his judgment. Obviously, the umpires don't have access to the stream as well, but close only counts in horseshoes and hand grenades. So no harm, no foul for the Foresters there.
That's exactly correct. Nothing we can do about it now as we're here in the top of the second inning. 1 gone and the base is empty for Caleb Hoover. First pitch off the outside, 1-0. That one down low, 2-0 the count to Hoover.
Well, Hoover's got one of the highest averages in the CCL, hitting .500 on the year. And it's not just the average, he's got the power too. You saw a great example of that last time we called a game between these two teams, and Hoover hit a 3-run homer. That was broke a 4-4 tie and put the Foresters ahead, gave them a lead that they would not relinquish in that one.
Takes a big hack on the 2-1, evens up the count. Yeah, Hoover going to be an all-star at that .500 average, 2 home runs, one of which coming back on the 19th when the Foresters made the trip down here, and he unloaded on a 3-0 pitch. Check swing, went around. That's strikeout number 2 for Wyatt Toth this outing, and out number 2 this second inning.
Yeah, Toth has been really good to start this game, and a lot of it has to do with he's mixing up the locations and the pitch types, not showing these Foresters anything more than a couple times in a row. He's going away, he's going up, he's going out, he's going in, he's going with the fastball, he's going with the off-speed. And again, 5 up and 5 down. This is a guy that the Saints, he's been good this year. The Saints need him to be great if they have hopes of doing some damage and getting to the playoffs.
Yeah, 6-12 record for Arroyo Seco this summer. Not a great first half of the season, but looking to finish strong here before going to the All-Star break and then rebound back from that All-Star break and start stringing together some wins, try and get themselves into the playoff picture. As Chris Newstrom fouls off the 0-1 pitch. Now 0-2 to the All-Star. 4, 5, 6 spots of the lineup. The 3 due up in Rutenbar, Hoover, Newstrom, all 3 of which being All-Stars for the Santa Barbara Foresters. Newstrom hitting .361 with 4 RBIs and 7 runs scored this summer. Toth going to disengage and reset. Obviously one of the big differences between summer ball and now collegiate baseball, the no pitch clock, which also comes with the no disengagement rules as well. But 0-2 pitch is jammed right back to Toth, who handles it and goes across for out number 3. Another 3 up, 3 down inning as we head to the bottom of the second here at Jackie Robinson Memorial Field. Back here for the back half of the second inning. Still scoreless here in Pasadena. Saints looking to get on the board first. Due up Zach Light, Owen Mangini, and Braden Wynn leading things off with Zach Light, the All-Star. Zach Late, the All-Star for the Arroyo Seco Saints. Batting in the 4-hole tonight on the summer, a .258 average with as many RBIs as he has hits, 8 of each with 9 walks. So a good on-base guy for Arroyo Seco down in the cleanup spot.
Yeah, he played his first game 2 weeks ago and already an All-Star, and that's a testament to him. So is him hitting in the cleanup spot even against a lefty in Fowler, the lefty-lefty matchup. So a lot of trust already in Zach Lake, clearly from Aaron Milam and the rest of the Saints.
Late takes the breaker out of the hand of Fowler, low and away. So 1 ball and 1 strike in his first plate appearance tonight. Fouls off the 1-1 offering, and Fowler with a clean 3 up, 3 down inning, 2 groundouts and a flyout. So the Saints have been getting the bat to ball, just not really finding the open space out there with the strong Foresters defense. And another credit to the Foresters defense and Jack Fowler for inducing that contact that doesn't find that space is two hoppers, to the shortstop in Sawyer Farr, who handles and puts away Zach Late at first. Up steps Owen Mangini on the .208 average. Also a guy with as many RBIs as he has hits, and a guy with as many walks as hits as RBIs, 5 each across all 3 of those stats, as takes a first pitch called strike on the low inside corner. That one just a little too far inside. This is now the 11th batter we've seen in this ball game. Still no hits. It's been 11 up, 11 down on both sides. As the 1-1 pitch from Fowler It's just a little downstairs, 2-1.
Well, Mangini is not going to be headed to Reno this Saturday for the All-Star game, but he will be headed to Reno, Nevada in the fall because that's actually where he goes to school, a student athlete at the University of Reno-Nevada. And remember, student athlete, student comes first.
Student
Very
does come
important.
first. Stay in school, always a very important mantra of the NCAA. Got to be a student before you can be an athlete. Yeah, Mangini, a member of that Wolfpack program out there in Reno, Nevada. So he takes a called strike at the knees to load up the count. And it's been a big sort of controversy nowadays with college athletics and, you know, these student athletes with the NIL stuff, getting paid and getting all this money to go play in collegiate sports, and, you know, the sort of nation as a whole. So this one's tapped right back to Fowler on the mound, who handles and throws over to first. The nation and the sports world as a whole really concerned with what that means for the future of these athletes. Just getting all this money and taking the emphasis, putting the emphasis onto the sports and taking it away from the school aspect of things.
You know what, Riley? I couldn't be more in favor of NIL from my perspective. I think it's a great thing. And the way I look at it is this. I actually learned this from Jay Billis, who's one of the biggest faces in college basketball. Something I took from him and now have kind of adopted as my own stance on it is, say you're a musician in college, right, and you're learning to play the guitar. You're allowed to do gigs and other stuff as wind grounds out. You're allowed to do gigs. We'll keep it here while we talk about this because this is interesting. You're allowed to do gigs and concerts and stuff while you're in college to further your guitar playing, but an athlete can't make money while they're still in school. For a lot of these guys, the college level is the highest they're going to get to. They're not going to get to the 1% of the 1% of the G League or the NBA or the minor leagues or the major leagues or whatever it may be in whatever sport. So I think making money while you're still a collegiate athlete is a very positive thing.
Absolutely. And Brandon Wynn grounding out to first base to end the bottom of the second inning. That's now 12 up, 12 down in this game. And going back to that whole NIL thing, it's kind of a way for these athletes to sort of get a taste of what it's like to play at that professional level without actually getting there. I mean, like you mentioned, it's only a small percentage of these college athletes that go pro and play sports as their career. But again, it also then goes back to what does that mean for the athletes who don't get pro? Because with all this NIL money and putting the emphasis onto the sports and, you know, taking away from sort of the school side of things, when these athletes end up putting an end to their career, what does that mean for then what they have to do as a new career going after it in the sports world? But I totally agree in the sense that, you know, these athletes are essentially working a full-time job while also being a student in school. I mean, these athletic programs are definitely rigorous in the amount of practice time and the amount of times that these college athletes have to spend just putting together these hours on hours throughout their week, taking away from that school side of things. So I definitely think it's definitely needed to get a little bit of reimbursement for all that time. So we now leak into the top of the third inning, still scoreless, still hitless on both sides. As leading things off now for the Forsters here in the third inning is Cole Chamberlain, followed up by Zane Becker and Brady Janusek.
Yeah, and one last point on the NIL perspective is think about how many players you see both at the collegiate level and the professional level.
This one laced into the right center field gap. That's the first hit of the day, and it clanks up against the wall. Cannon King firing the throw in, coasting into second base. Cole Chamberlain with a double to lead off the third inning for Santa Barbara.
Yeah, fastball over the outer edge of the plate, and Chamberlain has not had a great year down in the 7-hole today for the Foresters, but gets to this one, gets the bat head to the ball quickly, and into right center field, leadoff double. Again, first hit of the day goes for extra bases, first base run of the day for either sides. And just finishing up that last point, I wanted to say that think about how many collegiate and professional athletes have one injury and their entire career goes downhill from there. NIL money is a way of protection, of a barrier, of having sort of an account against that, so that if that type of stuff does happen, you've already got some money in the bank for what you've accomplished up to this point so far in your career.
Up steps Zane Becker, one of the 9 All-Stars for the Santa Barbara Foresters, 242 average with a home run and 6 knocked in this summer. Good job defensively behind the plate as well for Becker. He squares to bunt on the first pitch, pulls back. It's a called strike nonetheless, so an 0-1 count as Toth now going to check back at second base.
Well, the Foresters carry 4 catchers on their roster. That's the most in the CCL, and 2 of them are all-stars. Becker is one here. He's behind the plate. And the other one, Rutenbar, is at first base. So we talk about how much versatility you've got in the CCL just because these guys have played so many positions growing up. The Foresters have that to the next level. They've got catchers who can play in the infield, and that, I think, is one of the reasons why they're so good is because they can move so many guys in and out of the lineup without it really affecting them defensively.
Middle downstairs on the 1-1. Becker now ahead 2-1 the count. And there's that old adage in baseball, if you hit, you're going to play. And, you know, if your bat is hot, if you're getting on base, if you're knocking guys in, if you're finding yourself in a spot where the coaches force you to put your bat into the lineup, they're going to find a spot for you out in the field. And that's the case with Rutenbar, not playing his native position behind the dish, rather going over to first base and doing fine over there defensively, but just a guy who's been slugging all summer long for the Foresters. You got to find that bat a spot in the lineup, and for him, it's in the 4 spot. Pickoff attempt at second. Very close play, but diving back safely is Chamberlain. Becker in a 3-1 count. The leadoff man at second base in Chamberlain. Nobody out here. Going to look to do a job. Initially was going to just give himself up and lay down a bunt. Get Chamberlain up to third base with just 1 out. But now he's going to be in swing mode. He's going to look to get one on the ground on the right side with a wide open 3-4 hole with Flores covering the runner at second. This one shading off the inside edge, though. He'll get himself on base with a walk, and now there's 2 runners on and nobody out.
Well, this is what we've seen a little bit with Toth. When he's up there, he can be really good. Again, facing the minimum through 2, but leadoff double, now walks the next hitter. Again, not the worst thing in the world. You set up a force at any base, potentially a double play against a guy in Janusek who has struggled here as of late. Only 1 hit in his last 3 games. So, again, the top of the order for the Foresters just filled, littered with all-stars. But the bottom half are guys who either got off to a great start and struggled, have not had the best season from an offensive perspective. So this part of the lineup needs to be a breath of fresh air for Wyatt Toth, but so far it hasn't been. 2 on and nobody out.
Brady Janusek down in the 9 spot. 205 average with 10 RBIs this summer. Squares up to bunt. Runner taken third. Throw down. Kicks off the glove on a 1-hop to Mangini, who can't handle it. And into third base with a stolen base is Chamberlain.
Well, a little bit of a delayed steal right there from Chamberlain, and it's not the best throw from Nishiwa, but it's there in plenty of time. Mangini, that's a play he should make, and that's a huge stolen base right there. Instead of having a runner at first and 1 out, now runners at the corners and nobody out. So a big swing just in the hands of that play right there.
Pick off at first base. Becker back safely. Runners on the corners, nobody out. Yeah, the throw definitely there in time. Just tag could not be applied. Slide step approach now for Toth. Trying to give Becker as little time as possible if he decides he's going to try and swipe second base. Middle infield playing back for the Saints. Corners playing in a scoreless game here in the top of the 3rd. Big hack on the 1-1 from Janusek. Goes to 1-2. Janusek hunting some more RBIs. Just mentioned 10 on the summer so far. Looking to make it number 11 with a runner on third and nobody out. Toth delivering a fastball in the low outside corner, but just not close enough. Two balls and 2 strikes. As Toth deals, it's in the air, shallow left center, into no man's land. Freer stretching out, can't make the grab. Runner coming home to score is Cole Chamberlain. 1-0 Foresters here in the third inning.
And nice work by the Santa Barbara base runners, reading that play. Those balls into the left center field gap can be so tough to read, especially from a base running perspective, because oftentimes the fielder is shielding your view of the ball, but sees that it drops on the ground and the runners scurry into their bases. So again, this is the thing with Toth, right? He's a really good pitcher. He's got great stuff. But when you throw the fastball so much and a team starts to see it a certain amount of times, eventually they're going to start to catch up to it, and they have here in the third.
2 on, nobody out situation we just saw an at-bat ago, and stealing third base was Cole Chamberlain, who just came around to score on the RBI single from Janusek. So now the lineup card back up to the leadoff man, Kurt Ippolito. 2 runners on and nobody out. Ippolito with a .407 average and 9 RBIs coming into today. A great guy to have up in this spot for the Foresters. As Toth takes a couple looks back to second and deals the 1-0. And it's downstairs, 2-0. Ippolito flying out to lead this game off. Flew out to left. Looking to do a job here with 2 runners on and nobody out. He's going to square to bunt. Gets it down, but it rolls foul down the third base line. Line drive down the left field line in fair territory for a base hit. Becker's going to score. Janusek right behind him. Relay throw into third base. And a 2 RBI double for Kurt Ippolito extends the Foresters' lead.
Breaking ball right over the heart of the plate, and Ippolito's an all-star for a reason. He's 7th in the CCL in both batting average and hits. And the total of both of those is going to go up right there with that 2-run double. Drives in 2 more runs, and there was a reason why he's an all-star. There's a reason why the Foresters are 17-3 on the year, and there's a reason why they've beaten the Saints 3 times already. We knew this was going to be a tall task, and again, the Saints offense talented enough to come back, but a 3 spot here in the third for the Foresters is not a recipe for success.
Bunt on the first offering. It rolls foul down the third base line for Sawyer Farr, who's arguably might have gotten a little bit robbed of an all-star position as well. A .407 batting average this summer, .644 on-base percentage to lead the entire CCL, to go along with his third place 15 walks, just an all-around on-base machine. And looking to keep up those trends with a runner on second base. Still nobody out here in the third inning. Oh, 1. Fastball at the eyes, 1-1 to Sawyer Farr.
Sometimes with the all-star voting, it can get skewed a bit because every team needs to have an all-star. So maybe a guy who hasn't played as well as Farr gets the nod because he needs to be an all-star for a team, and then Farr gets snubbed for that reason. But he's having a good enough season that definitely can make a very strong case that he should be on his way to Reno this Saturday.
1-2 the count to the Foresters shortstop. Still nobody out here. Double, walk, single, double. 3 runs on the scoreboard already, with a 4th looming 180 feet away. Farr going to at least try and pull one on the ground, move that runner up to third. They'll fight this one off, fouling out of play. Yeah, a team that already has 9 all-stars with what definitely could be a 10th in FAR. And 5 of those All-Stars being offensive, all 5 of which being in the starting 9 tonight for Santa Barbara. 4 of those being on the pitching staff, and Jack Fowler, the starting pitcher, one of them. So they're definitely getting those All-Stars some time here against the Arroyo Seco Saints as the 1-2 fastball is up and in.
Yeah, it's not just the talent they have on the field for the Foresters, but their manager as well. Bill Pintar just picked up a couple of weeks ago his 1,200th career win as a head coach across all baseball that he has managed. So they've got a great guy there as well.
Big hack, the elevated fastball comes up empty for the strikeout. One gone here in the third. Still a runner on second base, though, for the Foresters. Now up steps Addison Klepsch, another guy who's having a really strong summer so far. Coming into today with .333 average and 8 RBIs. 0 for 1 so far tonight. A strikeout victim his first time up. One of now 3 strikeouts for Wyatt Toth, the starting arm for Arroyo Seco. Calling strike in the low outside corner. Klepsch, the second baseman for the Foresters tonight. Pretty strong infield. 3 of the 4 infielders for the Foresters in the first 4 spots of the lineup. In fact, the 3 infielders being in the heart of the lineup. 2, 3, 4, shortstop, second baseman, first baseman, as that one's in the zone to move the count 1-2. One ball and 2 strikes to Klepsch. Pick-off attempt, and they got him. Going to be in a rundown now. Back into second base. It hits off his back, and diving back safely is Kurt Ippolito after the Saints had a free out.
Yeah, can't happen. Your pitcher struggling on the mound. You get the base runner picked off and have him in a rundown, and then the throw clanks off the back of the helmet. Just a no-no here. And the Saints have not necessarily played great defensively so far this season. This another example of a play getting away from them.
So again, a 1-2 count to Klepsch. Toth down low. And you're really looking to get those free outs out on the base paths. The Saints have been victims of those base path outs throughout the past handful of games, and now look to grab some here in the third inning, but can't quite. The throw hitting off the back. This one into the shallow center field area. Coming in on it, Wynn bluffing at second base is Ippolito. Wynn makes the grab for out number 2. Two gone runner at second base, and Kurt Ippolito, and up steps the cleanup man, Carter Rutenbar. 3 RBIs this summer, looking to make it 4 here with 2 gone in the third inning. First pitch called strike. Toth getting ahead. He's done a pretty good job of that so far today and went 6 up, 6 down through the first 2 innings, and a bit of a messier inning here at the hands of the Foresters offense, which has been incredibly strong all summer long and continuing here tonight. Breaking pitch just upstairs. 3 hits, 2 of which being doubles already in this half inning, with a walk in there as well. 3 runs scored.
And this is something that we have seen so far this season for the Saints, is that they don't really die by a lot of small innings, but it's the big innings that come back to haunt them. They're giving up 4, 6, 8 runs in an inning, And they're right in these games, and it just feels like one frame gets away from them. A guy gets hurt, a guy loses his stuff. The other team puts together some really good at-bats, and this is why there's so much hope for the Saints. If they can clean up these innings, they can get a lot better in terms of the record for their season. But, again, 18 games through the season, the clock is ticking here.
3-1 now the count to Rutenbar. One of the 5 position player all-stars for the Forsters. Big opportunity here, trying to put 4 runs up on the board for the Forsters. 3 plated already this half inning. That one down below the knees. Rutenbar draws a 2-out walk to put 2 more runners on base. So we're back to another second and first situation for the Forsters. This time with 2 gone, as Toth did a good job bouncing back, getting 2 back-to-back outs in the 2-3 spots of the order, and issues a walk to Rutenbar in the 4-hole. Now for Caleb Hoover, the designated hitter for the Forsters tonight. First pitch, called strike on the outer edge. Oh, 1, checked his swing. Home plate umpire going to say he went around. So the count goes quickly 0-2 to Hoover, who struck out his first time up. He's having an all-around incredible summer so far. Came into today with a .500 batting average and 11 RBIs, 2 home runs as well. Guy with average contact hitting and power hitting. 0-2, runners go. Throw down to third in plenty of time, but the tag not applied to Kurt Ippolito, who dives in safely to third base.
Well, this is a little bit of a problem over here at third. For the 3rd time this inning, they've got a runner there. The first time, Mangini couldn't glove it. This time, the tag not applied. And then the other time when they had the runner in the pickle and couldn't tag him out. So a cacophony of missed opportunities here for the Saints, and now 2 in scoring position for Hoover, who you mentioned has been so great this year. They had him down 0-2, still down 1-2. This is a must-have out for Wyatt Toth right here.
Head coach and third base coach for the Saints, Aaron Milam, having a discussion with the third base umpire, who called Kurt Ippolito safe at third base despite the throw being in plenty of time. Good slide over there by Ippolito to avoid the tag by Owen Mangini. So we go to a 1-2 count with 2 outs here and 2 runners on base. Kurt Ippolito on third, Carter Rutenbar on second for Caleb Hoover. Swing and a miss, foul tipped into the glove of Nishiwa, who hangs on for the second strikeout this inning. But the Forsters tack on 3 runs. Strand 2 out there as well to take a 3-0 lead here in the 3rd inning. We'll head to the home half here on the Saints streaming network. Cannon King, Nick Nishiwa, Sean Asperger, the three due up. 7, 8, 9 spots in the Saints order as they look to chip away at a 3-run deficit applied by the Foresters last half inning. First pitch to Cannon King, ripped down the first base line, just foul. King coming up aggressive, but comes up with an 0-1 count. Guy who arguably could have found his way to the All-Star game as well, batting .306 with 3 home runs and 9 RBIs this summer. He shows off that power there, ripping one down the line that was only foul by a mere foot or two.
Yeah, absolutely. This is actually the lowest we've seen King bat in the lineup so far this season. He's in the 7-hole today. A lot of that because he's facing a tough lefty in Fowler. Saints going with Flores and Panarisi, Mangini, Nishiwa going with a righty-heavy lineup against Fowler. And as the Foresters go to their bullpen, Saints are going to grab guys off their bench, presumably. But very not surprising that we would see King be aggressive. Of course, down the 7-hole, he's waited a long time for his first at-bat of the game and just out in front of that first pitch.
Takes a hack at the low-way breaker. Goes down. Strikeout number 1 for Jack Fowler here tonight.
Well, Fowler only throws the slider 9% of the time, but that one, an instance where he did use it. And those are so tough for a lefty to handle. You go with the hard stuff, high and in. King fouls it off, and then you go with the breaker down, and he chases it.
This one lined into the left center field gap down for a base hit. Nishiwa going to head for 2. He's going to coast in there with plenty of time. Really throwing on a couple of hops to Sawyer Farr, who gets it in. First hit of the day for Arroyo Seco comes with a 1-out double by Nick Nishiwa.
Well, Nishiwa has been fantastic this season. The Saints, who are 6-12, have a 4-3 record when Nishiwa is behind the plate. He's hit the cover off the ball. Came into the game hitting .348, and that's a great average. It's an especially great average when you consider it's from your catcher in the 8 spot. I think the catcher position for the Saints with Andrews and Nishiwa from an offensive perspective is one of the spots on the roster where they've got the most depth. And Nishiwa, again, hitting the cover off the baseball. He's got 8 hits and 23 at-bats, now 9 and 24 on this year. And another extra base hit for Nishiwa.
Now Sean Asperger, the left-handed hitter, against the left arm of Fowler. 0-1 the count to him. Well, the Foresters were able to plate a 3-spot last half inning after leading things off with a double. 1-out double from Arroyo Seco. They're going to look to have pretty similar results here. Asperger down in the 9 spot, 225 with 9 hits and 9 walks, 3 knocked in, looking to make it 4 with a runner 180 feet away. Now 3-0 the count to Asperger. Fowler missing down below the knees. 4-pitch walk to Asperger. Now 2 on, just 1 out for Arroyo Seco.
Well, the Foresters got their runs on the double and then a walk. Now the Saints, with 1 out in the inning, have had a double and a walk. And here's Flores. He's tied for 3rd in the CCL in runs driven in. And it seems like every time runners are in scoring position, he comes through with a hit. He's got a great opportunity here with 2 on, and the Saints down 3, tying run at the plate.
For Wyatt Toth on the Arroyo Seco side, went 6 up, 6 down. Right to the third baseman, Newstrom, who goes to second in time to get the line-out double play. A tough turn of events for the Arroyo Seco Saints. to end the third inning. They come up empty and leave two stranded. We'll head to the fourth here from Pasadena. Three-zero ball game through 3 full innings. Riley Horn alongside Max Langer, who I will hand off the play-by-play duties to. Max, take it away.
Well, thanks very much, Riley. Foresters on top 3-0, a 3-spot in the top of the third off Wyatt Toth, who's back out there for the fourth inning against the 6, 7, 8 of the Foresters lineup. Newstrom, Chamberlain, and Zane Becker due up for Santa Barbara. Newstrom grounded to first in his first at-bat back in the second inning. One of 5 offensive all-stars for the Foresters this season. 1-0 pitch, popped to left field. Panarisi coming in, and he's got it for out number 1.
Yeah, Newstrom definitely going to want to go up there aggressive, like you mentioned, ground out his first time up. A guy who came into today batting .361, headed out to the All-Star game, and the only guy who didn't get a plate appearance an inning ago with a 3-run rally in the third inning for the Foresters. So definitely a guy that was going to come up ready for that at-bat. Unfortunately, just got it a little bit off the end of the bat and flipped it into shallow left field, an easy play for Panarisi.
So 1 out and nobody on for Cole Chamberlain, who swings at the first pitch from Toth and pops it up. Left side on the run is Mangini. He's out of room. 10th game of the year for Chamberlain, and only 3 hits with that double back in the third inning, but 2 of them now going for extra bases. The double today and a home run. It's in 120 on the year. Ground ball, right side. Flores is there and throws him out quickly. 2 up and 2 down here in the top of the 4th.
Yeah, Chamberlain, a guy that hasn't had too much success so far this summer, but a lot of hard hit balls so far today through just 2 plate appearances. A double in the right center gap his first time up, and that one a hard ground ball. Unfortunately for him, Flores over there vacuumed it and got him out at first, but you know, you can't be too upset with that result after that swing.
2 out, nobody on for Becker now. Second at-bat of the game for one of the 2 all-star catchers on this Foresters roster. It's Becker and Rutenbar at first base today. Becker walked ahead of the double from Chamberlain and came around to score on the 2-run double from Kurt Ippolito. In there, 1-1. Becker, a Texas A&M guy. That's a recurring theme you'll see with a lot of players on this Foresters roster. They are the winningest program in collegiate history across all of summer collegiate leagues, rather. Did he go? Check down to first. Yes, he did, and it's 1-2. So they lure a lot of guys away from these Power 4 schools, University of Tennessee, Arkansas, Texas A&M, to their roster. And Foresters really the flagship crown jewel of the CCL. A ball and 2 strike. Becker fights it off and into right field for a base hit. Two-out hit for Zane Becker, and he's on ahead of Brady Janusek.
Yeah, and Toth, in a 1-2 count, has the advantage and just tries to go with a challenge pitch. Unfortunately for him, Becker was waiting for it, an all-star like we mentioned in Becker, and that's what all-stars do, is they anticipate those kind of challenge pitches and they don't miss their opportunities when they're given.
A runner on first base and 2 outs for Janusek, who takes the first one in the dirt. Becker got a great read on the ball that got away from Nishiwa, and he's into second base and into scoring position. So Becker, who's been on twice, is now at second base for Janusek, who has 10 runs driven in. 8 of the 9 guys in this Foresters lineup have at least 8 RBIs on the year. And for Janusek, who has struck out almost three times as much as he's walked, has a golden opportunity here to drive in a run and extend the Forester lead in the 4th.
Yeah, and a good opportunity as well, 2-0 count. If he gets the green light, he's sitting 1 pitch and 1 pitch only. Otherwise, he'll take one and then go to work with 1 strike behind him, and that's common. The strategy that you see is unless you get that perfect pitch 2-0, you're not going to take a hack at it. But if he gets it, he could do some damage.
2 balls and no strikes. Toth comes home, and it's in the dirt now, 3-0. Kurt Ippolito and the top of the Foresters order is on deck.
Yeah, and that's not where you really want to be for Toth. You want to try and attack Janusek now before the lineup card flips over and gets back to the top of the order, which is starting to come around throughout this one.
Foresters are coming off a 2-game sweep at home against Menlo Park. Janusek swings and misses. Santa Barbara won both of those games by 2 runs, 8-6 on Saturday and 3-1 on Sunday. But Janusek drove in 4 of those runs. Again, the Foresters have so many great players who are on base so much that pretty much everybody across their lineup has opportunities. 3-1, and it's outside ball 4. So after retiring the first 2, Toth has allowed the next 2 to reach. A single from Becker and a walk to Janusek, and now 2 on and 2 out for Ippolito.
Yeah, now not necessarily too ideal for Toth with 2 on and the top of the order coming up, especially in Ippolito, who doubled with 2 RBIs his last time up in the 3rd inning. But he does have force outs all around the bases now, so you can use that open base, try and induce weak contact from Ippolito.
We mentioned that the bottom third of the Foresters order should be a respite from the litany of all-stars you're going to face at the top 6. Well, the bottom of the Foresters order is 5 for 6 so far today. They have done the lion's share of the damage. Becker at second, Janusek at first. Ippolito chops it left side. Not going to be an easy play for Freer. He throws, and it's not caught, over there at first base. A run comes in. Heading to third is Janusek. Probably going to go down as an RBI single for Ippolito, as Late could not make the pick at first base. He's been so great defensively, but a miscue here. A run comes in through the back door, and the Saints, who have been really sloppy around the infield today, give up another run, and now 4-0 Foresters in the 4th.
Yeah, we'll await the official scoring on that one.
Going to be an E6 on the play. Runner stops and starts, throw down to second base. Now the run coming home. The ball kicks away. Ippolito going into second base. Sad news, Saints here today. 5-0 Foresters, as they have ran all over Nick Nishiwa and this Saints defense. And coming off of what was a blown 8-0 lead in slow on Sunday, the Saints have not responded well back here at home on Tuesday. Down 5-0, as the Foresters have scored multiple runs in the 3rd and the 4th. That one right there, the Little League play. Take the runner off for second, stop him, the throw down, and have the runner at third come in to score. And 2-0 on Sawyer Farr. Again, Farr, the highest OBP in the CCL. It's not even a tiny sample size either. This is his 12th game. He's played basically every other day. Didn't play Sunday against Menlo Park, but he played the 3 previous games. He got 3 hits and 4 walks. So there's the on-base percentage for you. And he's a ball away here from drawing yet another walk. On the outside corner, strike 1.
Yeah, and so a little bit of a more meltdown-ish inning defensively for the Saints so far here in the 4th. Toth going to have to stay mentally strong, go attack these hitters, try and get this last out.
3-1, Carr foul, and the count goes full. Saints came in today with a lot of hope for Wyatt Toth. He was really good his last time out against the Bombers. 5 innings, 2 earned runs, and the Saints were in that game up until the Bombers put up a 7-run 6th inning and ran away with it. But the righty for the Saints has really struggled so far today. Payoff pitch, not even close, ball 4, and Farr is on for the first time. Down to first base he goes. Now 2 on and 2 out for Addison Klepsch. And going to have a meeting on the mound here. Looks like this might be it for Toth. Maybe just a conversation. Again, the Saints, the first of a 6-game homestand, and while it would seem that they can be aggressive with their bullpen with the All-Star break, it's not really a break. In fact, the only day this week that there aren't games is Saturday, when the All-Star game actually is. And because the CCL is losing Saturday to the All-Star game, they are nixing the league-wide off day on Monday, and some teams will play as well there. So the California Collegiate League cannot really afford to extend the year, and the Saints cannot really afford to go to their bullpen. Toth comes home, and it's popped up foul and out of play. 0-1 on Addison Klepsch, who's 0 for 2. Struck out in the first and flew to center in the third. Carter Rutenbar is on deck for Santa Barbara. Runners stop and start, and it's fouled back to the screen 0-2. And Wyatt Toth has not been great today, but he certainly has not gotten much help from his defense. Had the 3 misplays in between second and third on the 2 stolen base attempts and the pickoff rundown, rather, that went awry. And now the Foresters running all over him in the 4th. Bounced up the middle, starting in was Freer, makes a great play, or Flores rather. Now throw to third and everybody's safe. Flores was shifted to the left of the second base bag and dove after the ball. Was able to keep it in the infield to prevent a run, but another batter reaches for the Foresters. Now 5 straight Santa Barbara Foresters have come up to the plate. They've all gotten on base. And with Rutenbar here, who has had a fantastic season, the Foresters very much in danger of breaking this game wide open. First pitch, low, ball 1.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, there's no out to show for it on that play by Flores, but no doubt, debatably a changing, inning-changing, game-changing, however you want to look at it, type of play where if that ball leaks into center field, that's scoring another run for the Foresters. And, I mean, what an athletic play by Flores, going full Superman dive to knock that one down. Again, can't get an out to show for it, but definitely could have prevented another run from scoring.
Klepsch at third, Farr, or rather Klepsch at first, Farr at second, Ippolito on third for Rutenbar, who's got 5 extra base hits on the year. 2-1 on the Foresters' cleanup man. Gotta have it if you're Toth. Here's the 2-1, swing and a miss, and it's 2-2. Good breaking ball from the righty to even the count. The sun is peeking out a little bit through the clouds here, so shadows cast across the infield diamond. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Toth comes home, and it's cued foul. And Rutenbar is going to get another bat.
Yeah, that one blowing up the lumber in on the hands, breaking the bat on the foul ball. And, You know, you think now for Toth in this portion of the lineup, these are the guys you got to go attack, as these are the guys who haven't had as much success so far today, but especially in a bases loaded 2-out scenario.
Foresters brought 8 men to the plate in the third. They've brought 7 men to the plate in the fourth, and now the count goes full. 3-2 on Rutenbar, and nowhere to put him with the bases juiced. Again, it's Klepsch on first, Farr on second, Ippolito on third. Foresters already with 2 in the bank here in the fourth, looking to really break it open. Runners with the head start. Here's the pitch. It's outside, ball 4, and Toth has walked in a run. Now 6 straight Foresters have reached base as Toth misses way high and way outside. He's clearly rattled, and for the second consecutive inning, the Foresters have scratched across a 3 spot. They lead the Saints 6-0 and are on the verge of sweeping the 4-game season series from the Saints this year.
And now you imagine you go face Caleb Hoover, who's already struck out twice today against Toth, but any further damage applied here, and it might start to be the end of the outing for the starting pitcher for Arroyo Seco.
Toth has walked 4 hitters today. 3 strikeouts, but free passes have hurt the Saints all year. And right now he's got no control over the fastball. Hoover, the DH, has struck out twice, though. Toth has been really good against him. Farr at third, Klepsch at second, Rutenbar at first. Here's a 1-1. High ball 2. And I talked to Aaron Milam, the Saints head coach and general manager. He's also the executive director of the CCL, and he mentioned that the Saints in somewhat of a transition year. Maybe the priority for him and for the league really is to get a lot of these guys playing time. Obviously, that's the main goal of the CCL, but has not been a great on-field product for the Saints so far today. Now 2-2 as Toth is a strike away from striking out Hoover for the 3rd time. Saints very much with a capable offense, but cannot afford to get it much worse than 6-0. Here's the payoff. Hoover slaps it to center field. Wynn going back. He's on the track. He's at the wall, and it's a ground rule double is the call. Ball bounced up and over the wall. It's going to be a 2-run double for Caleb Hoover as Wynn cannot track it down in center field. The Foresters have scored 5 in the top of the 4th. A 2-run double from Caleb Hoover, the latest damage, and now 8-0 Santa Barbara.
Yeah, that ball going the opposite way with it was Hoover and absolutely smoked it. That one just super high in the air, a lot of carry, beat Wynn going back on it. And that warning track out there, definitely a harder surface on that dirt rather than the grass. So it takes a skip up and gets up over the fence and into the net. Good for a ground rule double. Now the lineup card hitting all the way through for the Foresters. For Toth, you got to bear down now and go get this final out.
The Foresters have batted around in the 4th. 5 runs are in, and the bases are still loaded with 2 outs for Chris Newstrom, who is 0 for 2. Grounded to first in the 2nd and flew to left to start the inning. When you throw the fastball 75% of the time, you got to have great stuff and great command. And although he's had it for much of the year, today Toth has not. And the Foresters have exploded. 8 runs in the last 2 innings and counting. 1-1. Check swing, foul ball, and it's 1-2. Tonight, the first of a 6-game homestand for the Saints. They only have 3 games away from Jackie Robinson Field the rest of the year. 1-2 pitch in the dirt. Nice block by Nishiwa to keep it right there, and it's 2-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Toth delivers, and it's fouled back to the screen by Newstrom.
And at this point now, you have an open base if you decide to use it, but you'd rather not in this scenario. You'd rather just go get the out now with 2 strikes and 2 outs. And for Toth, that pitch count already up into the triple digits. He's up over 100, past that century mark, so you really got to go get this final out.
Second and third, 2 outs, 2 and 2. In the dirt, ball 3. Cole Chamberlain, who has sculled the ball both times he's been up there, is on deck. Here's a payoff. Newstrom slaps it down the right field line. It is fading and foul. Each of the last 2 times the Saints and the Foresters have met here in Pasadena, it's been a close game. Saints led 4-3 and lost last time, and they had it tied at 4-4. So they've been very much in these games. Ground ball to third. Great pick from Mangini, but he can't glove it, and will be no play. Another miscue at third base by Owen Mangini, his 3rd of the game. And 8 straight men have reached for the Foresters here in the 4th. They lead the Saints 9-0 as another run comes across. Nobody coming out to get Wyatt Toth either. For the 3rd time this inning, a meeting on the mound between Nishiwa and Wyatt Toth. Chamberlain is 1 for 2. He doubled and came around to score the first run of the game in the 3rd, and he grounded out to second here. Wyatt Toth had retired the first 6 batters he's faced, but an absolute gut punch to him and the Saints here in the 4th. Check over to first, and back safely with a head-first slide is Newstrom.
Yeah, this inning started with 2 quick outs. Started with Newstrom, who's now over on first, fly out and a ground out. And then since then, it's just been a scrapped-together 2-out rally by this Foresters offense, who have put up 6 runs, all with 2 outs, and none of which earned against Toth. So he's, you could argue that he's doing his job up on the mound. His defense isn't backing him up, and, they've had plenty of opportunities to get out of this inning and are yet to really capitalize on any of them.
Runners at the corners, no balls and 2 strikes. The pitch is low, and it's 1-2. Yes, the Saints defense has been rough, but a lot of hard hits off Wyatt Toth. He finally gets a swing and the miss. Foul tip held onto by Nishiwa behind the plate. And Chamberlain is out number 3 of the 4th, but not before the damage has been very much done. The Foresters get 6 in the 4th and have blown it open 9-0 to the bottom half. 2-3-4 to the bottom of the fourth as the Saints trail 9-0 against the Foresters here in the final time these two teams will meet. 4 times this season, Foresters 3-0 in the first 3 matchups and lead at 9-0 here in the fourth. Strike one on the inside corner to Carson Panarisi, who grounded to short his first time up. Well, Carson's not a CCL All-Star, but he has been really good for the Saints so far this year. Absolutely a team MVP through the first half of the year. He's basically been penciled into that 2-hole now, despite playing all 3 outfield positions, left, center, and right. He has hit in the 2-hole. 1-1, swung on and missed, and it's 1-2. Hitting .281 on the year. Both him and Jacob Freer, the guy on deck, have 16 hits. That is second and third, respectively, on the Saints behind Flores. And, of course, the highlight, the walk-off throw. Flares this one to right center field. Ippolito going over. He's not going to get there. And a blue bubble base hit for Carson Panarisi to lead off the fourth. For the first time today, the Saints have the leadoff guy on base.
Yeah, with a 9-0 deficit midway through the fourth inning, all you can ask from the Saints offense is just to try and string together a little bit of success and try and find ways to get runs across. And at this stage of the game, it's Panarisi who's leading off this fourth inning, doing exactly that, getting on base, and now going to do his best to try and come around and score.
Ball one low from the lefty Fowler to Freer, who one of 3 Saints on the offensive side of the ball, named the All-Star. Freer, Flores, and Zach Late, who's on deck. 14th game of the season for Jacob. Average coming into this one up to .314. He's having a really good offensive campaign. Again, it has not been the Saints' offense that has been the reason why they're 6-12 this year. In the dirt ball 3, and it gets by Becker to the backstop. Panarisi will cruise into second base, and Saints have the leadoff guy in scoring position.
And now you'd just like to see one get across for the Saints at least. You know, there's still plenty of ball game. We're not even halfway through this one. We've seen the Saints put up a lot of runs and not a whole lot of innings, so this offense is definitely capable of scrapping their way back into this game, but it's going to take a lot of work to get there.
3 balls and no strikes. Freer taking all the way. Watches the fastball nick the outside corner, 3-1. Outside ball 4, and the first 2 have reached to begin the home half of the fourth for the Saints. Single from Panarisi, and now a walk for Freer, and Late is up with 2 on and nobody out.
Yeah, and we flash back to an inning ago, bottom of the third. Saints went strikeout, then a hit, and a walk to get 2 runners on, and then it was catastrophically ended with a line-out double play off the bat of Braden Flores. Very well-struck ball, though, nonetheless, so now you just hope that Late can strike a ball just as well and hopefully have a little bit better luck on the defensive side of things.
Late fouls it off. Well, the last 5 games, and we might have to do a stat check on this because I'm not entirely sure. I believe the Saints have had 3 innings in the last 5 games where they've given up at least 6 runs. A 1 pitch is down and away, 1-1 on Late. Late again made his debut for the Saints 2 weeks ago today, and he has been terrific. 8 runs driven in already, 4 extra base hits, and coming in today, the on-base percentage at .452. Down low 2-1, and now a check on Fowler, who has lost a good bit of command here in the fourth.
Yeah, and starting to lose it a little bit here, but you can hear from the Foresters dugout coaches, yelling at him, don't worry about the runners, just go get the batters. That's has to be his mentality going with a 9-run lead into the bottom of the 4th inning. You have 2 base runners on, but still it's going to take a lot more work from the Saints offense to even get close to getting back into this one. So you just have to go attack these hitters. You can't fall behind. The last thing you want is just to give up these base runners for free. He's already walked one this half inning. You'd rather make the Saints offense work to get back into this one than offer it up to him on a silver platter.
2-1, Light grounds one right side. They go to second for 1. The turn back to first with Fowler covering is not in time. Nice play by Rutenbar to get the lead runner in Freer at second base. Panarisi moves to third on the play. On the fielder's choice by Carter Rutenbar. The Saints have him cornered with 1 out for Owen Mangini.
Yeah, and that's exactly what you need to do there by Fowler. Go attack the batter, and he does exactly that. Falls behind in a 2-1 count, but then gets a ground ball from late and gets at least 1 out, and that's as much as you can ask for on that play, is just to get at least 1.
Inside ball 1 to Owen Mangini. 0 for 1. He grounded back to Fowler in his first at bat back in the 2nd inning. It probably feels like there was so much life coming in today. You come back home after the 3-game set and slow. You've got the 4 All-Stars, and feels like all of the air has been let out of the balloon.
Yeah, especially when this game starts off going 12 up, 12 down through the first 2 innings. Seemed like we were going to be in for a pitcher's duel, but then the Foresters' offense just waking up, putting balls in play, finding ways to get on base, and putting up 9 runs in the span of the last 2 innings.
Meanwhile, Fowler seems to have gotten his command back, and it's 1-2 on Mangini, who comes into the year with 5 hits, but 2 of them have been home runs. Saints could really use one here, a hit or a home run. Here's a 1-2. Mangini grounds one up the middle. This could be 2. Klepsch will go to second for 1. The turn, got them both. Mangini grounds into an inning-ending double play. 4-6-3 go the Foresters. And the Saints threaten, but ultimately cannot score in the bottom of the 4th. 9-0, Santa Barbara to the 5th. Nine-0 Foresters to the top of the 5th. Becker, Janusek, and Ippolito coming up for Santa Barbara against Lincoln Lions, who takes over for Wyatt Toth after he threw 113 pitches and surrendered 9 runs.
Yeah, Lions coming in as sort of a utility arm for the Arroyo Seco Saints. 4 total appearances, 2 starts, this being his 5th overall appearance, this time in relief. 9 innings pitched on the summer so far with a 7 ERA and 7 strikeouts.
Check swing, strike 1 on Zane Becker, who's been on twice today. He walked in the 3rd, singled in the 4th, and came around to score both times. In there, and it's quickly 0-2 on Becker. Oh, 2 pitch, strike 3 looking. Becker goes down for the first time today, and Lincoln Lions 3 pitches, 1 strikeout to begin his outing.
Yeah, that's exactly what you need right now for the Arroyo Seco bullpen is coming in and getting the outs, getting the strikeout on the first batter you face. You're down 9, and after a half inning, an inning ago in the top of the 4th where the Foresters offense works together a strong 2-out rally to score 6 unearned runs. You like the approach there from Lions, just chasing the outs and going and getting them.
Ball 1 on Brady Janusek, who, similar to Becker coming into this inning, has been on twice as well. The single in the 3rd, the walk in the 4th, and he too has scored twice. 1-0 pitch, popped foul, back and out of play. Lions very similar to Toth in terms of the pitch mix. Goes with the fastball 2/3 of the time. He's also got a curve, a slider, and a changeup in his arsenal. Here's his 1-1. Janusek leaves it outside, and it's 2-1.
And a very busy day for the starter, Wyatt Toth. Again, pitch count up over 100. Went 4 innings, gave up 6 hits and 9 runs, but only 3 of which were earned, 5 walks and 5 strikeouts. So, as a start, you look at it and you say 9 runs given up, not ideal. Then you say only 3 earned runs given up, and then you say, all right, that's not that bad through, 4 innings against this really strong Foresters offense. So it's kind of a reflection of, what do you say in situations like that on the mound for Toth. And overall, I think you can't be that upset.
Janusek pops it up right side, late over, so is Flores, and he will make the play for out number 2. Nice running catch from Braden Flores. I think it's been a variety of things that have led to why the Foresters are on top 9-0. There is Toth losing command for a while. There is the errors on defense. There is just the pure fact that the Foresters have been so good offensively this season. And it all adds up to a 9-0 lead for Santa Barbara. Here in the 5th, 2 up and 2 down for Lincoln Lions, though, who's been very good. Fires his first pitch in, and Ippolito slaps it to left center field. It is back, it is towards the wall, and it is way gone. Home run for Kurt Ippolito, his 2nd extra base hit of the day, and the Foresters have double digits. 10-0 Santa Barbara as Ippolito takes it out of the yard.
404 feet out to left center field. And that's now the 7th run scored with 2 outs this game for the Foresters. They're up to double digits. I mean, this offense is just coming together and firing on all cylinders. And, we go back a couple pitches. The reason I say for the starter, Toth, why you can't be that upset is because you only give up 3 earned runs to such a strong offense, and you arguably do your job. He wasn't necessarily backed up defensively. He was getting ground balls. There were a couple miscues on the base paths for the Foresters that could have resulted in outs.
Absolutely.
And so, all things considered against, the best team in the CCL South, you can't be that upset. And now, you give one up to Ippolito, the all-star. Again, you just got to keep getting those outs and just do your best to limit the damage from here on out.
Sawyer Farr broke his bat on the foul ball. He's gone and gotten a new one, I think. We saw what Toth could do against this Forrester's lineup the first 2 innings, 6 up and 6 down, and those pretty much coming into the game had been their 6 best hitters. So definitely the positive to take away there for Toth, but just hard to find a lot of silver linings in what is now a 10-0 game. Check swing, did he go? Check down to third, yes he did, and it's 0-2 on Farr, who is 0 for 2. He did walk in the 4th and came in to score a run. Addison Klepsch is on deck. The Foresters already in their 4th go-round of their lineup, and not even halfway done in this game. Lions is 1-2, is inside, and it's 2-2 on Sawyer Farr, who grounded to second. It was a nifty play by Flores in the 1st. He struck out in the 3rd and then walked in the 4th inning. His 4th at-bat of the game here in the 5th, as Santa Barbara has scored in each of the last 3 offensive innings. Drive to right, it is deep, it is back, it is way gone, and the Foresters have gone back-to-back. Ippolito and now Farr. The top 2 in the Santa Barbara lineup have absolutely crushed it, and multiple runs now in the last 3 innings for Santa Barbara. They lead the Saints 11-0 on the home run by Sawyer Farr. It'll bring up Addison Klepsch, who is 1 for 3. He singled in the 4th. The 5th extra base hit of this game for Santa Barbara. They've done it all. They've gotten the walks, they've gotten the hits, and now the home runs. Back-to-back from Ippolito and Farr off of Lincoln Lions in the 5th. And the Stars lead it 11-0 over the Saints. 1-0. That one's clobbered but foul.
And, you hear the eruption there from the Foresters dugout. That one hard hit, but so far foul. I mean, that's the longest strike I think I've ever seen.
That one could end up in the Rose Bowl. Right down the middle, and it's 1-2. Three in the 3rd, 6 in the 4th, and now 2 in the 5th for Santa Barbara. 1-2, line foul, and it stays 1-2 on Klepsch, who is 1 for 3 on the day. He is hitting ahead of Carter Rutenbar, who is the only member of the Foresters starting lineup so far that has not gotten a hit, although Rutenbar has been on twice with a couple of walks. 1-2. Klepsch leaves it outside, and it's 2-2. Well, the Saints play tomorrow, and they play Thursday as well, so 3 straight games for the Saints, and this one not just about the loss, but now 113 pitches for Toth. Who knows how long it'll be before he's back, and Lions in trouble here in the 5th. Gives up the 2 home runs, the pitch count getting up there for him, and now it's full-on Klepsch. The thing about the Saints this year is, while the record has not been good, they've been able to stay in the game with a lot of top teams. They were in it with the Blues last weekend. They've been in it at some point all 3 times against the Foresters, but nothing going their way in this one. 11-0, Santa Barbara on top.
Yeah, pitching side of things for Arroyo Seco now, you just have to throw your best pitches. You have to be careful. You just have to do your best to get those outs. And on the hitting side, it's going to take a lot of rallying to get back into this one. But we've seen a very competent Saints offense, so, it's not completely out of the picture just yet.
Lions' payoff is outside, ball 4. Another walk for the Foresters, who have now had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 guys reach via the double B. And here is Rutenbar, who is looking for his first hit of the game. That would mean every member of the Foresters starting lineup has gotten on via a hit. They have all reached base, but Rutenbar the only one without a base knock. After retiring the first two, Lions has allowed the next three to reach. Homer, homer, walk. And two out, and one on for Rutenbar, who takes away ball one. Again, this is the first of a 6-game road trip for Santa Barbara, and they are certainly starting off with a bang. Foresters have also seen the fastball a ton. Toth, a 75% fastball guy. Lions, a 66% fastball guy. Check over to first, and back safely with a head-first slide is Klepsch. We know hitters, Riley, gear up to hit the fastball. That's typically what they not necessarily sit on, but are expecting to come when they're at the plate. And, well, the Foresters certainly been expecting it so far today.
Yeah, as a hitter, you're really taught, sit fastball, react to off speed. And in that sense, you're always ready for the quickest pitch that's going to come. And then the pitches that you have more reaction time on, you can sit back a little bit and wait. But the Foresters have done a good job in taking that approach and really capitalizing on it. They've been able to really take advantage of the good fastballs they've seen while also handling the off-speed pitches and just putting it together a pretty strong offensive performance so far.
3 balls and a strike on Rutenbar with Klepsch at first base. Lions comes home, and it's on the outside corner. Generous call from the home plate umpire, and the count goes full on Rutenbar. Klepsch will get a head start with the pitch. Lions comes home, and it's swatted foul. Payoff, ground ball over the glove of Mangini. That one took a weird hop, late down there at first base. That one took a weird hop. And going back to the bag we'll see what the ruling is, but could it be the first hit of the day for Rutenbar, meaning every member of the Foresters starting lineup has reached? Going to third on the play is Klepsch. The inning continues. Now 4 straight have reached for the Foresters, and Caleb Hoover is up with runners on the corners and 2 outs.
Yeah, and again, we'll await the official ruling, but I'm imagining that one's going down as a hit. Took
Yeah, I
a
agree.
wicked hop.
Yeah, tough play for late.
Yeah, over the head of Zach Late at first base. And, one off the bat, one that you think is going to be putting an end to the inning, and it just extends it. I mean, that's a tough one. So now you really got to lock in for Lions.
Apologies for calling Zach Late Owen Mangini. Got the corners mixed up. Expecting it to be ruled a hit, I agree. It'll bring up Caleb Hoover, who's 1 for 3 with a double. And the last time he came up, last 2 times actually, he's come up here in Pasadena with 2 runners on base. He has launched a 3-run homer and hit a double. Ball 1. You got to imagine as this game progresses that the Saints could opt to get some of the regulars off their feet. Flores, Freer, Panarisi, perhaps a couple of them. Lands 1-1. Lined and caught at second base by Braden Flores, and the inning is over. But the Foresters get 2 more back-to-back homers from Ippolito and Farr. Halfway home here at Jackie Robinson Field, Pasadena, and the Foresters lead it 11-0.
My name is Gannon Snyder. I'm going to be a junior next year. I'm in the portal right now. I play basically everywhere, kind of a utility, and I live in St. Louis, Missouri. I've played baseball since I could remember, from t-ball till now, and it's always been the biggest sport in my life for sure. Growing up with an older brother, I was playing against him and everything, getting my butt kicked and everything nonstop growing up. It was super competitive. The biggest thing in sports, in my opinion, is if you're not competitive, you're not going to be able to play at the highest level. So just being able to compete every single day and whatever it is huge. All the teammates here are high-level players. Competition's good, and they're all good people. The coaches are great. Next year I want to be able to compete for a team that's trying to make a run in the postseason, just pushing to get better every day. I want to play baseball as long as I can, and I'm going to.
You ready? Bottom of the 5th, 11-0 on top are the Foresters, and 6, 7, 8 coming up for the Saints. Brandon Wynn, Cannon King, and Nick Nishiwa against a new arm for Santa Barbara, Henry Prindle, into the game in relief of Jack Fowler.
Yeah, good start for Fowler, going 4 innings, giving up no runs on just 2 hits with a strikeout and 2 walks. And for Prindle, this will be his 6th appearance. All his previous 5 have been in relief. 1-0 record so far this summer with 8 innings pitched, 7 strikeouts, and a 4.5 ERA.
Swing and a miss from Wynn, and it's 1-1. Prindle is a 4-pitch guy, but 89% of the time you will see either the fastball or the slider. Features a change and a cutter in his arsenal as well. And looking to protect an 11-0 lead for Santa Barbara, who has exploded. They've got 3 in the 3rd, 6 in the 4th, and 2 in the 5th. And they've done it via all ways, getting runners on and driving them in, the long ball, the walks, capitalizing on defensive mistakes. An offensive clinic from the Foresters. 2-2 on Wynn, who bounced to first his first time up. Off the end of the bat, into shallow center field. That one's going to drop in for a base hit for Brandon Wynn. His 2nd hit as a Saint. Leads off the bottom of the 5th, and for the 2nd straight inning, the Saints have gotten the leadoff runner on.
Yeah, and 3rd time today we've seen a broken bat in this one. This one goes down for a base hit. 2nd inning in a row for Arroyo Seco that they've had a leadoff base hit, but throughout this game they've yet to take advantage of any of those runners on base. So now it's going to be about just getting as many around and in as you possibly can. Give the bat to the next guy in line, pass the baton, try and keep these rallies going to get back into this game.
Swing and a miss at the fastball from King, who struck out against Fowler's first time up. A nasty breaking ball from Fowler to get King fishing. Cannon probably thankful that Fowler's out of the game, gets to face a right-hander here. Check over to first, they got Wynn leaning and they get him. Leaning the wrong way with his team down 11-0. Wynn is picked off of first base and is immediately erased after the leadoff single. So the base is now clear for King. 0-1 pitch in there for strike 2.
Yeah, just unfortunate timing there from Wynn over on first base, extending out, trying to get a decently big lead and a perfectly timed pickoff maneuver from Prindle Gets him with plenty of time. Caught on the wrong step, leaning the wrong way.
King lines one to center field. That will be caught on the run. Janusek to his right. Makes the play on the sinking liner, and King is out number 2 of the 5th.
Yeah, it's just kind of been a little bit of a summary of the Saints' day right there. Really well-struck ball by Cannon King. You know, a great swing and a great piece of hitting, but just unfortunately nothing to show for it. And, you know, it's just kind of been a tough day on all sides for the Saints today so far.
Nick Nishiwa, who's got one of the Saints' 3 hits, the only one for extra bases, a double, but was erased on the double play that Braden Flores lined into. That's another hard hit ball you're talking about. Really the only chance so far the Saints have had in this game. Nishiwa pops it up, but foul and behind us. Flores with runners in scoring position again, hit it right on the button, but right at the third baseman Newstrom, who threw back to second base, and to Klepsch for the double play. Base is clear, 2 down, 11-0 Santa Barbara. Here's a 1-1. Nishiwa takes it, strike 2. Sean Asperger, the DH, is on deck for the Saints. Swing and a miss at the breaking ball. Becker will tag Nishiwa, who does not run down to third base for the final out of the 5th. Saints get the leadoff runner on, but he is picked off, and the next 2 go down. Through 5 in Pasadena. Foresters on top 11-0. So far for the Saints as they trail 11-0 to the top of the 6th. Newstrom, Chamberlain, and Becker due up for the Foresters as they face Griffin Rogers, who takes over for Lincoln Lions.
Yeah, Rogers coming in. This will be his 6th appearance, and in his previous 5 haven't necessarily been the best and haven't been what he's been looking for. But in a game like this, down 11-0, you really don't have much stress left to give. And so for Rogers, it's just going to be about attacking the zone, going straight after these hitters, not trying to get too cute, and just trying to chase outs.
Ground ball left side and through a base hit. Off the bat of Newstrom, his 2nd hit of the day, and first pitch swinging against Rogers, grounds the ball through the left side. Absolutely, 11-0 game. Not much to lose if you are Rogers or the Saints, again, you never want to give away at-bats, innings, chances to improve. So Newstrom is at first base ahead of Cole Chamberlain. Who takes the breaking ball for strike one. Good movement right there from Rogers. Griffin, another guy that features heavy fastball, 61% of the time. Goes with the four-seam, throws one here, but it's in the dirt, and another good block behind the plate from Nishiwa.
Yeah, athletic play there. Sliding over to his left, getting the glove all the way on it and securing it. Tough play to be made, but does a good job making it to prevent a runner to move up into scoring position.
Both of the Saints catchers, Nishiwa and Andrews, have been very good behind the plate when it comes to the backstop aspect of the position. Chamberlain is 1 for 3. On a 1-2, he leaves it in the dirt, and it's 2-2. Two and two in the dirt. And the count runs full. Before the two-game sweep of Menlo Park that the Foresters had last weekend, they had lost 2 straight. Before that, they'd won 11 straight. They have not lost a game on the road yet this year. 5-0 coming in to this one. And this, the first of a 6-game in-conference road trip that the Foresters will play. Spoiled, at the plate, and it's still 3-2. They'll go to Conejo, they'll go to Compton, play 1 at Orange County, and of course starting it off here tonight in Pasadena. Newstrom a conservative lead from first as Rogers fires a payoff, and it's chopped foul off the bat of Cole Chamberlain. Will do it again.
Yeah, it's been something we've seen all day long from this Foresters offense is the ability to not strike out in big spots and, foul off pitches, spoil those ones in the zone, try and find one to punish. I mean, they do have 6 strikeouts offensively on the day so far, but it could be a lot more than that.
Here's a payoff. It's in the dirt, ball 4, and the first 2 have reached against Griffin Rogers to begin the 6th. Let's give an update on the bottom of the lineup on what they're doing. It is now in 10 plate appearances, 6 of the times they have reached. And this 7, 8, 9 are guys who have struggled or have not played well recently for the Foresters. So we say a good 1 through 9 is what it takes to make an elite baseball lineup. The Foresters certainly putting that on display tonight. Grounded fair down the third base line and into the corner. 1 run is in. Chamberlain hits the bag at third. He's coming in to score as well. It's going to be a 2-run double off the bat of Zane Becker. And for the 4th straight inning, the Foresters have put up multiple runs. They lead the Saints 13-0 on the 2-run double from Zane Becker. At this point, it's like, how much worse can it get? Becker on second for Janusek. Ball 1. Janusek started the year at the top of the order, but as Ippolito and Farr have soared to the top, they started more in the middle of the lineup. Janusek has been pushed down towards the bottom, but still very much a capable hitter. Ahead 2-0 here against Rogers.
Yeah, capable hitters 1 through 9 for this Foresters lineup. That's kind of their big thing, is they're able to recruit guys from all around the country, big schools, get a lot of big names through this team. And, you know, they go to show it, you know, here today, putting up 13 runs now through 5+ innings into the 6th. You know, they got a 17-3 record. They're at the top of the CCL South standings right now. Their offense is one of the best in the entire league. And, you know, it just kind of goes to show you the strength of what this team can do.
2-1 outside, ball 3. Hayden Camberg is on deck. He would pinch it for Ippolito, who has already come up 4 times today. Ippolito actually only a triple away from the cycle, so that opportunity would be, or no, the single was actually reached on an arrow. So he's a single and a triple away from a cycle, but still the pinch hitter would not afford Ippolito that opportunity, but Bill Petard looking to get some of his regulars off of their feet in a game that is not close, to say the least. Count is full on Brady Janusek, the center fielder and 9-hole hitter for Santa Barbara. Rogers comes home, and Janusek cuts through it, strike 3. Good fastball from Griffin Rogers. He retires Janusek via swinging K for the first out of the 6th. So it will be Camberg, who is a catcher, and now 3 catchers in the lineup right now for the Foresters. That's pretty interesting. Camberg from Pepperdine University. Swings and misses at the first pitch from Rogers.
Yeah, heading into his junior season for the Pepperdine Waves, and this summer he's hitting a .158 with 2 runs knocked in, 2 runners knocked in, 6 runs scored, 5 stolen bases. He's a pretty capable guy with the bat, as are so many of these Santa Barbara Foresters hitters. And, you know, at this stage where, you know, the average isn't necessarily where you want in a game that's, you know, going really well for your team, well enough to get those guys some new, fresh action. It's just sort of a feel-good day from here on out for Santa Barbara.
No balls and 2 strikes to count. The pitch is away. Landon Schaefer is on deck to pinch hit for Sawyer Farr. So after Bill Pentard pinch hit Camberg, catcher for Ippolito, the right fielder, and presumably Schaefer, an outfielder for Farr, the shortstop, the Foresters are going to have to do some serious defensive rearrangement in the bottom half of the inning. 1-2 pitch, roped foul into the Foresters' dugout. They are housed on the first base side here at Jackie Robinson Memorial Field. Rogers to Camberg with a 1-2. And Camberg watches it outside. Ball gets away from Nishiwa. And Becker will jog into third base. It's a busy week in sports. NBA free agency starting today. The World Cup, Wimbledon. This week here, the end of June, the start of July, leading up to the 4th is one of the more exciting times to be a sports fan. And, of course, the CCL All-Star Game on the 4th. 2-2, and it hit him. Off the elbow of Camberg, who comes in as a pinch hitter and gets hit on the fastball from Rogers. And 4 of the first 5 against the Saints lefty have reached.
I mean, what a year it's really been for sports, just in general. Olympics, got the World Cup this year. Those only come around, you know, once every 4 years. You know, I guess Olympics you could say every 2 years, but in terms of the summer, winter flip-flop, it's, you know, every 4 years. And, you know, it's been a good stretch of sports throughout this first half of the season. Obviously, you know, you got your regular annual NBA and NHL finals and the Super Bowl going back to the beginning of the year, and the Masters, and it's just been a fun year for sports fans all around.
Breaking ball, strike 2 on Landon Schaefer, who was picked in the 20th round by the Phillies in the MLB draft last year. Opted to go to Arkansas. Still very young, a lot to develop, but getting an opportunity here, playing in his 14th game with the Foresters, and leaves ball 1 outside. Seems the pinch hitting barrage has stopped, at least momentarily, for the Foresters. Addison Klepsch is on deck. Runners at first and third for Schaefer. Rogers delivers, and Schaefer takes a back foot slider, and it's 2-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Rogers gets Schaefer on the fastball. Second K of the inning. He's recorded both outs via the strikeout, has Rogers. And now 2 down and runners at the corners for Addison Klepsch.
Yeah, good pitch there. Going to the outer edge, getting the strikeout for Rogers. Like you mentioned, that's number 2 now on this half inning, and number 2 on his outing after Rogers came in at the start of this inning.
Ball off the glove of Nishiwa. That one's going to go down as a passed ball. Becker comes in to score the 14th run of the game for the Foresters. At least we can say we've got a football score. It's now 14-0 Santa Barbara. Camberg moves to second on the play. Look at the scoreboard. It's 0-0 and then 36-23. That tells you all you need to know. Still a runner in scoring position for Klepsch after Camberg took second base on the pass ball. Foresters with 3 in the bank here in the 6th. Fifth plate appearance of the day for Addison Klepsch. He is 1 for 3 with a walk. One, strike 2. Strike 3. Rogers strikes out the side in the 6th. 3 Ks of Janusek, Landon Schaefer, and Addison Klepsch, but not before 3 more runs come across in the inning. It's 14-0 Santa Barbara as we head to the home half of the 6th. 9-1-2 for the Saints in the home half of the sixth as they look to get on the board here against Henry Prindle and the Foresters, who lead it 14-0. Breaking ball, strike one. Defensive changes to report. Landon Schaefer is now in the game at third base. That slides Chris Newstrom over to shortstop. Klepsch still in there at second base. Ippolito was pinch hit for by the catcher Aiden Camberg. Outside 2-1. Although in the outfield spots, I actually am not sure who's out there right now because it's a little far to see. 3-1 on Asperger, who walked his first time up in the third and was raced to pitch later after Braden Flores lined into an inning-ending double play. Three-one, down Main Street, and the count goes full. Here's a payoff. Asperger unloads. Deep to right field. Back towards the track at the wall, and it is gone. Home run, Sean Asperger, his second in the last week. He gets the Saints on the board here in the bottom half of the sixth with his second home run of the year, and it's 14-1.
Yeah, Asperger getting a pitch, taking it 375 out to right field, and definitely unloading on that one. Still a lot of work to be done offensively for Arroyo Seco, but that's a great way to start. You get your first one up, and now from here it's going to be about keep racking up runs on that scoreboard. Get guys on, get them around, get them in, try and, not surrender as many outs as you can, and, just try and work strategic offense from here.
Asperger homered on Wednesday at Compton. He now homers here Tuesday against the Foresters. And for a guy who didn't have any home runs in the first part of the season, as that one's lined to center field and caught by Janusek. Second time that Janusek has made a nice play going over towards his right into left center field. Flores is the first out of the sixth. But getting back to Asperger's second home run in a week. He didn't homer in the first 3 weeks of the season, so a good last week for Asperger as he looks to climb his way up the batting order, hitting ninth and DHing today. And lines back up the middle, a base hit for Panarisi. So 2 hits in the last 3 hitters for the Saints, who all of a sudden are seeing the ball very well out of the hand off of Henry Prindle. They've got 1 on and 1 out for Jacob Freer.
Yeah.
The interesting thing about Asperger I want to mention is that he's homered in each of the last 2 games, and each of the last 2 games, the opposition, as of right now, has put up 14 runs.
Pretty interesting. But, at this point, that's what you want to see from the Saints offense, just getting bat to ball, getting good pieces. Even that line out by Flores, it's still a pretty well-struck ball, just hung up enough. So, the optimism is definitely up for the Saints offense. They're still putting together good at-bats and getting a solid swing on these pitches.
Saints on the board. It's 14-1 and 1-1 on Jacob Freer, who is 0 for 1. He flew to left in the first and walked in the fourth. His third plate appearance here in the sixth, looking for his first hit of the day, as still a good chunk of ball game left for the Saints. In the dirt, it kicks away. Going down to second as Panarisi. Throw is into right center field. Now Panarisi will take off for third. Janusek bobbles the ball, but Panarisi will not advance any further. Going to be most likely a wild pitch and then a throwing error on the catcher. And Panarisi is at third with 1 out, so after the Saints made so many defensive miscues, the Foresters make one here. And Panarisi is at third base. 2 balls and 1 strike to count on Jacob Freer. Prindle delivers, and Freer fouls it off at the plate, and it's 2-2. We'll see what the official ruling on that play where Panarisi advanced from first to third will be. But the Saints will take it nonetheless. A runner 90 feet away with less than 2 outs. 2-2. Freer takes the breaking ball on the outside corner for strike 3. Second strikeout rather for Prindle as he gets Freer looking, and now 2 gone in the 6th for late.
Yeah, and looking back at that play, pass ball allowing Panarisi to advance up to second, throwing error from the catcher, Liam Wilson, who checked in the spot of Zane Becker earlier this half inning. That's a throwing error on him to allow Panarisi to move up to third.
RBI opportunity for Zach Late, who is 0 for 2. He grounded short and hit into a fielder's choice back in the 4th. Late has been so good defensively, but today not his best day. There was a ball at first base that he couldn't pick, and then this one, not nearly his fault, but a wicked hop on a ball in front of him that basically tattooed over his head into right field. 1-1 on the Saints' first baseman. Prindle delivers, and Late grounds it foul. One and two, Prindle to Late. So the Foresters have taken a good chunk of their regulars off their feet. Will the Saints do the same? It's a swing and a miss from Late for strike 3. 2 Ks in the 6th for Henry Prindle, but the Saints do get on the board. Sean Asperger, his second home run in a week, and it's 14-1 as we head to the 7th. (14-1) to the top of the 7th. Griffin Rogers back out there for his second inning of work, and he faces the middle of the Foresters lineup, 4, 5, 6. And as we go to the top of the 7th, I will hand it back off to my partner, Riley Horn. Riley?
Thank you, Max. Riley Horn joined alongside Max Langer to my right, my broadcast partner, and to my left, our broadcast producer, Jack Badsey. Again, heading into the 7th here, 4, 5, and 6 spots of the Foresters' order in a 14-1 ball game as we get into the first half of the 7th inning. Griffin Rogers ahead 0-2 of Rutenbar. So far today, 2 walks, single, and a flyout. And Rogers on the day so far came in last inning as the second arm out of the pen for Arroyo Seco. This is 0-2, is down in the dirt. So he's gone 1 inning so far. Giving up 2 hits and 2 earned runs, 3 total runs. 3 strikeouts, struck out the side last inning with a walk as well. On the ground to the first baseman late, who takes it himself for an easy out number 1.
Yeah, nice play by Late over there at first base. There was that ball earlier that hopped over his head, and this one stays back on and has enough time to adjust the glove to move it, because the ball's been taking some wicked hops on the right side of the infield tonight. But a good job by Late staying back and then getting to the bag to beat Rutenbar for the first out of the 7th.
This 4-5-6 part of the Foresters offense, all CCL All-Stars in Rutenbar, now Hoover, and up next Newstrom. Hoover so far today, 2 strikeouts, a line out, and a ground rule double back in the 4th that knocked in 2 runners out there and advanced the lead for the Foresters, and they currently lead by 13 as it stands right now. 2-0 the count to Hoover, 5-hole hitting designated hitter for the Foresters today. Fouled off himself and catches a ricochet down to Nick Nishiwa. So both Hoover and Nishiwa going to have to take some time to catch their breath after that double ricochet. Two balls and 1 strike, the count. Nishiwa and Hoover doing all right. At bat will continue. Rogers delivers right down Broadway for strike 2, and count evens up. On the ground right side, Flores spinning and can't get the throw accurately over to first base despite an incredible play with the glove to even knock that one down. That's the 2nd time today that we've seen Flores at second base handling a crazy chopper but having no outs to show for it.
Yeah, what an effort to get over there. Even if he fields it cleanly and makes a perfect throw to first base, there's no chance he's getting Caleb Hoover. So a good job from Nishiwa to back up the play to make sure that Hoover doesn't get to second base. But Braden Flores certainly showing off the glove at second tonight. And the range as well.
Hoover gets his 2nd hit of the day to bring up Chris Newstrom, another Foresters All-Star. Takes a monster hack at the first offering, but waves straight through it. Newstrom, one of 2 batters to bat twice in the 4th inning. Flew out and reached on an error. Also singled in the 6th and grounded out in the 2nd. He chops one into the Saints dugout. Count goes 0-2. One for 4 days so far for Newstrom. Dropping down the batting average just a little bit. Came into today .361. Came around to score on his single as well. Now up to 8 runs on the season for Newstrom. Checked his swing, popped out of the glove of Nishiwa. Moving up to second base is Hoover. He's in the scoring position. Pass ball advances Caleb Hoover up to second base. A little bit unnecessary at this stage. 13-run ball game. Not really needing that extra 90 feet for the Foresters offense, but I guess in the spirit of summer ball, you try and get as many stats as you possibly can, and
absolutely,
try and make yourself look as good as possible for your returning home or to find a new home for the guys in the portal. On the ground through the left side, coming up with it, Panarisi. Stop sign going to be on for Hoover. Over to first base is Newstrom with a single.
Freer shifted over towards the second base bag. That opens a big hole through the left side of the infield, and Newstrom, with now his 3rd hit of the game, puts runners at the corners. Chamberlain.
Chamberlain on base twice tonight, scoring both times he's been on. Lefty-lefty matchup, and he flips it into shallow right. That's a fair ball down the line. He's going to get on his horse, head for 2. 1-run scores, throw to second base, not in time. Cole Chamberlain with an RBI double here in the 7th, 15-1.
Well, the Foresters get the run right back that Sean Asperger got in the bottom half of the 6th. Now 3 straight hits off of Rogers, and going to be a pinch hitter here for Zane Becker.
Yeah, it's Liam Wilson who checked in last half inning as a defensive substitution. Just a straight swap half inning ago, and he takes a mean cut at the first pitch. Now the 3rd straight inning with a plate appearance for this ace spot of the order. It was Becker in the first 2, back in the 5th and 6th. Now Wilson here in the 7th in an 0-1 count with 2 runners in scoring position. Takes another hack and nothing to show for it. Saints infield going to play back. Not really worth trying to cut down a run when you're down 14. Just try and get as many outs as you can at this point. Go across to first base, get the shore out there. The 0-2 pitch cuts low and in. And Becker is now not in the lineup after getting substituted for last inning. He went 2 for 3 on the day, single, double, strikeout, and a walk. So a little bit of everything for him on the night. Now Liam Wilson in his first plate appearance. Takes high and away, kicks out of the glove of Nishiba, but not far enough for either runner to move up. 2-2.
Yeah, would you go infield in here? That's pretty funny.
Two foul tips, held on by Nishiwa. So going down swinging is Liam Wilson for out number 2.
Yeah, Wilson wasn't sure. He thought he hit it into the ground, but good job by Nishiwa making the catch. And now Janusek.
Janusek with a single his first time up. That was back in the 3rd inning. Since then, he's had 4 other plate appearances, this being his 5th. Walked in the 4th inning, scored in both that 3rd and 4th inning. Then a pop out and a strikeout his last 2 times up.
The rest of the people in the press box with us are talking about their favorite baseball movie. Do you have one?
I'm a big fan of 42. I really liked that movie when it came out with, I'm blanking on his name now, the actor, Chadwick Boseman? Is that his name? Yeah. I was a big fan of that one. Moneyball is obviously a classic.
The thing they don't mention in Moneyball is how the A's also had the AL leading the MVP in Miguel Tejada, another 30 home run, 100 RBI hitter. But no, it is a great movie.
Yeah, that one's definitely a classic. Little bit more of a niche one is one called Perfect Game.
Oh, I have not seen that one.
Yeah, that one's a really good one. It's about a youth team. I haven't seen it in years, but I believe they're from Mexico, and they make this run in this like huge global tournament maybe, and I mean,
it's a true story.
Spoiler alert. I don't think it's a true story, but spoiler alert, if you can't tell by the title of the movie, I believe
they throw a perfect game.
Pitcher throws a perfect game in like the tournament championship or whatever it was. Into center field, charging in on it is Wynn, and it falls in between Wynn, King, and Flores for a base hit. Two runners come around to score. 2 RBI, 2-out single for Brady Janusek.
Well, the Foresters have hit the ball hard a lot tonight. This one, not the case. Rogers saws off Janusek just at the end of the bat, and I believe that will make it 17-1 as they put up another 3 spot here in this inning. I think my comfort baseball movie has to be The Sandlot. I watch it on July 3rd every time before July 4th because it just so embodies what summer is what I'm trying to say. And
Yeah.
Yeah, I really love that film.
It's a good one.
I think A League of Their Own is a really underrated film.
I haven't seen that one, but I've heard good things about it.
Yeah, Tom Hanks, Madonna.
Yep.
It's got a
Yep. Pretty good cast.
star-studded cast, yeah.
No doubt. Lone inside to Aiden Camberg, who checked in an inning ago as a pinch hitter for Kurt Ippolito, who doubled, reached on an error, homered, and flew out as well. So pretty strong day for him, but they're going to get the starters off their feet a little bit, get some guys who didn't start this game some action. So now it's Camberg, who was hit by the pitch his first time up, now on a 3-1 count against Rogers with a runner on first base and 2 gone. Three-one pitch, thrown away. It's ball 4. Second plate appearance and second free pass issued to Aiden Camberg. Now to bring up Landon Schaefer.
Good news for the Saints is that there's no off day tomorrow. You get to go right back into it after this type of game, and it's another big one against the Barons, who are one of the 3 teams right now that the Saints are grouped up with. Them, Saints, the Barons, and the Conejo Oaks. The Riptide and the Foresters obviously have very much separated themselves from the pack, but there's still time, right? We're not at the All-Star break, but the clock is ticking for the Saints. Done is the positive moral victory part of the season where we can take away what they've done well. At this point, all that matters is coming out on top if they want to get to the postseason.
Yeah, 6-12 record for the Saints. Currently last in the CCL South standings in terms of the 5 teams that qualify for the playoff tournament, not including the handful of affiliate teams here in the CCL South. So it's time to start putting those wins up and hopefully get themselves into playoff contention. But yeah, there's still a good chunk of season left. You know, we're only halfway through the season at this point. Now you get to the All-Star quote-unquote break, even though it's not much of a break like we mentioned earlier. But, you know, you get to that point in the season, and then it's time to hit the ground running. 1-2, swing and a miss. Down goes Landon Schaefer on strikes, and that's out number 3 here in the 7th inning. But the Foresters advance their lead up to 16 runs as we'll stretch it out here in Pasadena. Legs have been stretched. We head to the bottom of the 7th here at Jackie Robinson Memorial Field. It's Owen Mangini, Brandon Wynn, and Cannon King due up against Will Jordan, the new arm for the Santa Barbara Foresters.
Yeah, Will Jordan, 8th appearance on the year, 10 innings so far. He's given up only 1 earned run and struck out 14. So Bill Benzard going with one of his better relievers, even here in a 17-1 advantage. Again, these teams usually pick who they've got hot or who's going to pitch before the games, and Jordan into this one here in the bottom of the 7th.
He's got a 16-run advantage, so at this point he can just throw it down the middle to these Saints and see what they can do with it. Saints offensively today, not their best day, but still a really strong offense despite, you know, that 6-12 record. Good starts, or a good start rather, from Jack Fowler for the Foresters, and then Henry Prindle, first arm out of the pen. He had a pretty strong day as well. Fowler, the starter, going 4 innings, no runs on just 2 hits. Prindle going 2 innings, 1 run on 3 hits with 3 strikeouts and no walks. And now the baton passes to Jordan. You could say it tries to preserve the lead, although it's going to take a lot for this Saints offense to even really bring it close.
Here's the plan I would do right now if I'm the Saints, right? 8:25, the lights shut off at 10. So if you can just extend this game as long as possible and delay it, maybe something happens and they get a chance.
Down on strikes goes Mangini. So 1 gone here in the bottom of the 7th. Yeah, it'd be still a lot of work to be done. I mean, at that point, you got to assume the game would be pretty close if you can extend it to that point.
Well, I would just, you know, hit some foul balls, maybe hire a fan to, like, throw a football onto the field and then be like, oh, we got to clean this up. That wastes another 3 minutes or so. And then maybe the Foresters are like, you know, we've already qualified for the playoffs that we go to in Kansas. Let's just not bother about going back to play this game.
That's something. That's something.
Or they could just make one of the greatest comebacks we've ever seen and win it 18-17.
That'd be my favorite.
Let's do that. Yeah.
That'd be the one I prefer. Brandon Nguyen in an 0-2 count. Singled his last time up and was picked off. That was back in the 5th inning. Takes a hack and stays alive. Loud doink off the pole. Hope that one picked up. That's kind of funny.
Yeah, that was very obvious.
When the newest Saint coming to the team at the start of the slow road trip. So he takes a hack, pops out of the glove of Wilson behind the dish, but he goes down to first for a quick out, number 2.
Yeah, Donnie Morgan is going to pinch hit for Cannon King here. Only 2 at-bats for King in this game, but he has played a lot this year, so Aaron Milam going to get him out of the game in a 17-1 blowout. Again, big game tomorrow for the Saints against the Barons. First day of July against an in-conference opponent you've played really close this year, so definitely going to want to have his best players in the lineup for that one, and getting King a rest here with 2 gone in the 7th.
Yeah, and King, a guy like we talked about this earlier with Sawyer Farr potentially being a guy that gets gypped of an all-star selection and trip to the all-star game. King, another one of those guys coming in today, 306 average, 3 home runs, 9 RBIs, a guy that's been such a staple to this Saints offense when he's in the lineup. His account goes to 1-2 on his pinch hitter, Donnie Morgan, who so far this summer is hitting 125 with 3 RBIs and 5 runs scored. 1-2 pitch. Little inside, scooting back on it is Morgan, although that one had a lot of arm side run, nearly tailed back into the zone. A good frame behind the dish from Liam Wilson, made the home plate umpire second guess it a little bit, but just off the inner edge. So 2-2 now the count. That one above the zone, and the count goes full to Morgan.
4 pitches for Jordan. The fastball, the changeup, the curveball, and the slider, but throws the fastball 57% of the time. Why do you think that's a trend that we see so many of these collegiate summer guys throw the fastball so often?
Swing and a miss from Donnie Morgan, and Will Jordan strikes out the side. 3 up, 3 down, 3K inning in the bottom of the 7th. We'll head to the 8th here on the Saints streaming network.
Baby, if I seem a little bit distracted, like I'm in another place and another time. Well, I apologize for the way I'm acting. I just got a lot of loving you on my mind. Ever since there's a morning, I've been wondering how you do that thing you did last night. Well, let me tell
Back here for the top half of the 8th, and a new arm in on the mound for the Arroyo Seco Saints. It's Joey Parrish, who's making his Saints debut tonight, and sophomore currently in the portal looking for a new home. Native of Phoenix, Arizona, 6'1", 220-pound right-hander, and arguably in this situation, there's obviously it's not ideal for the Arroyo Seco Saints, but going out, making your debut on the summer for Parrish, it's not too bad in the sense that there's no stress in this game.
Absolutely.
It's a 16-run game, and now you just have your opportunity to go out there, fill up the zone, use those pitches, go chase outs. It's an ideal situation for Parrish. Obviously not the score for his team, but in the sense that, it's stress-free.
I think that's definitely a good way to look at it. I think also, though, you could make the case, though, because it's 17-1, a lot of times relief pitchers strive on energy coming into the game, like closers, for example. When it's 4-3, they get really energized. But we'll see what happens here with Parrish. I think you're right, though. For a debut, having as little stress as possible is probably the best-case scenario.
3-1 count to Addison Klepsch. And after Donnie Morgan pinch hit for Cannon King last half inning, he now goes to right field. A little bit of a change there defensively for those of you keeping your own scorebook at home. On the ground to the second baseman Flores, bobbles but handles, goes across in time for out number 1.
Good job by Braden to knock it down. That ball hit very sharply, stay with the play. We've seen the Saints do that a number of times. Toth did it one time on the mound when we were starting the game when he knocked the ball down, but stayed very composed and still went to first for the out. And Flores does it here for the first out of the 8th.
1 gone here, base is empty. Top of the 8th inning in a 17-1 ball game here in Pasadena. Parrish missing the first offering down low. And, you know, from my quote-unquote IDAR and, you know, the radar that I can see with my own eyes, I have no
IDAR. I hadn't
no
heard that one before.
data to back this up, but I would guess Parrish is, you know, maybe up even into the 90s with that pitch velocity on the fastball, although, you know, it's kind of been a little bit down in the zone. He's been spiking a couple of them, making Nishiwa work back there.
That
But
one
seemingly
at
to have
85 right there.
Where'd you see that?
Someone holding a radar gun off to our right.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah. Let's see. What do we got here?
Off the cleat of Parrish on the mound and skips off to the left side of it. Looks like he's going to give the okay. He's going to be all right, but over to first base with a single is Carter Rutenbar.
Saints cannot really afford many more arm injuries, so imperative that all of their pitchers stay healthy, especially in a game that is not particularly close. I wonder if Parrish is related to Celtics legend Robert Parrish, because that is the last time I've heard the name Parrish.
Joseph Sandusky now pinch hitting in the spot of the designated hitter Caleb Hoover. Takes called strike one with Carter Rutenbar over on first base. Hoover ends his day with 1 hit in 5 plate appearances. 2 hits in 5 plate appearances. Single and hit a ground rule double, as well as 2 strikeouts and a lineout. Sandusky takes a big hack, and it's now 0-2. No balls and 2 strikes to Joseph Sandusky in his first plate appearance of the night. This one fouled off the net. He'll stay alive. We'll do it again. Good slider there, trying to get Sandusky fishing, but a little too non-competitive, so the count goes to 1-2. One, two, fouled off. We'll do it again. Staying alive so far is Sandusky. Goes back to a point we were making earlier about the tendency for this Santa Barbara Foresters offense to just foul pitches off and 2-strike counts, stay alive, and run up the pitch count of some of these Arroyo Seco Saints pitchers. And like Wyatt Toth, the starter, he went 4 innings in this one, and that pitch count was well up over the century mark into the triple digits. So those Foresters offense has done a good job of just spoiling those pitches, staying alive, and going deep into counts.
No, they've gotten the Saints pitchers into deep counts, and to the Saints pitchers' credit, they have gotten the Foresters to 2 strikes. They've struck out Santa Barbara 9 times, which at this point in the game is pretty good against a team like Santa Barbara. It's just when they're not getting the strikeouts, the balls in play are really coming back to bite.
Called strike 3 down at the knees. Sandusky goes down looking for out number 2.
And a good pitch right there from Parrish, and he hasn't had perfect command. He's had good command so far, but not perfect. But what's really stood out to me has been the stuff so far that he's displayed in this outing on the mound. The K's, that one right there, a fastball that was grooved at the bottom of the zone, a really good pitch, and definitely a positive here in what Parrish has done so far on the mound to take away for the Saints from this one.
Yeah, so again, back to that point. Deep count for Sandusky. That does end up in a strikeout. That's now number 12 for the Saints pitching staff tonight. Wyatt Toth with 5. Lincoln Lyons with 1, Griffin Rogers with 5, and now Joey Parrish with his first one of the outing.
Did I say 10, Case?
I don't remember what you said.
I think I said 10, and you said 12. But you're probably right, because my scorebook got all out of whack because of the batting around. Yeah.
Yeah, I double-checked mine, and then I double-checked our online scorebook.
All right.
And I believe it's 12, or I guess I know it's 12.
When in doubt, go with the play-by-play guy. That's
Right.
what I've learned.
That's a good rule of thumb, I think. Not to,
Or go with the producer.
Yeah. Shout out the producer, Jack Badsey, tonight.
Yeah. Shout out the kid.
2-1 count to Chris Newstrom. Singled in both his last 2 times up. Also reached on air on base 3 times tonight. With a ground out and a fly out as well. 2 balls, 2 strikes, and 2 outs with a runner on first base. A 17-1 ball game here in the top of the 8th inning. Checked his swing. Appeal down to first base. No go.
He went. Come on.
Full count offering now. 2 strikes, or excuse me, 2 outs with a runner on first base for Chris Newstrom.
What'd you think? Think he went on that?
I personally don't think he did.
Oh.
I think that was the right call. I think he held up just enough.
I think he went and then slid it back a little bit as they went to appeal down to first base.
Payoff pitch on the ground to Flores. Kicks off his chest right into his glove, firing over to first base for out number 3. Leaving a base runner stranded is Joey Parrish in his Saints debut as we go to the home half of the 8th. Nick Nishiwa, Sean Asperger, Braden Flores, the 3 due up for the Arroyo Seco Saints here in the second half of the 8th inning. Still going to work against Will Jordan, who's now out for his 2nd inning. Came in an inning ago and went 3 up, 3 down, all by way of the K. And his first pitch to Nishiwa is upstairs. Only 3 arms used so far today by the Santa Barbara Foresters. There was the starter, Jack Fowler, who went 4 innings. Henry Prindle going 2. Will Jordan now on pace to go 2 as well. Saints on the other side of things. Using 4 arms so far today as this one's through the 5-6 hole for a leadoff base hit for Nick Nishiwa, his 2nd hit of the day.
Good job by Nick. He really stings the baseball when he connects with it. He has got a ton of power in that bat. And the only man on the day other than Panarisi, both him and Nishiwa have 2 hits now.
Asperger pulls one through the 3-4 hole. Going station to station is Nishiwa. He's up to second base. Asperger now with his second hit of the day, keeping the bats moving.
And another opportunity with runners in scoring position for Braden Flores. Maybe Saints not going to get the win, but this is a good opportunity for Flores to try to climb up that RBI list, currently sitting in a 3-way tie for 3rd place. Saints actually have King, who is tied for 2nd in the CCL in home runs. He's in a 5-way tie with 3 home runs, as it's chopped foul. And the only guy who has 4, the Saints will see tomorrow, Jason Delviar of the Barons. But King with 3, very much providing the power. Now Asperger has 2. A lot of guys have 2. A lot of guys have 1. Even more guys have 0.
There's been a lot of pop so far this summer, which is good to see. Check swing. Back to Jordan on the mound, who flips over to first base, but moving both runners up into scoring position now for the heart of the order.
Yeah, smart play by Jordan. Again, this type of score, this type of game, no reason to try to get the lead runner at 2nd or at 3rd, so just go to first, retire Flores, and move on.
Panarisi with 2 singles so far today, ground out as well. Looking to do a job here with 2 runners in scoring position. 16-run ball game, so a lot of work to be done for Arroyo Seco to even get close back into this one, but a good opportunity to boost up some stats for Panarisi, who just nearly missed out on an all-star game spot. So he takes one low and away. Count evens up at 1-1. Mentioned this earlier, but Panarisi really cementing himself in left field as the 2-hole hitter for Arroyo Seco. There's a lot of experimenting with the lineup in the first couple weeks of the season, but now it's been pretty consistently locked in, at least the first half of it so far. And, Panarisi been a really strong guy in the 2-hole of the Saints order, which, might not be showing it as well tonight, but is still a really strong overall offense.
Yeah, in the 2-hole, in left field, the walk-off throw. He can also play center. He's also played right a couple of times when Bryce Robinette has been put in left field, and they've gone with Donnie Morgan or Blake Mitchell in center. So he can play all 3 outfield spots. Left field, as he is tonight, his primary one, though. But he has been very good defensively and also very good at the plate.
Two and two, little low and in, count runs full. Well, Jordan set, kicks and deals, low and away with the breaker. That's ball 4 to load the bases. Good job there by Panarisi, in a largely separated game in terms of the runs on the scoreboard. It's a little bit of a tendency when you get somewhat of an opportunity, which have been sort of lacking throughout this one, to really open up the eyeballs and take hacks at pitches that you otherwise wouldn't. But Panarisi doing a good job staying patient there and taking his walk, getting on base by whatever means necessary, as the first pitch popped up in foul territory by Jacob Freer, but nobody can get there in time. So the count goes to 0-1. Bases loaded with 1 out for the Arroyo Seco Saints. On the ground right side, 4-6. No throw at first, back throw to 3rd. Going back safely there is Sean Asperger. He moves up to 3rd base. Fielder's choice puts Jacob Freer on first, and Nick Nishiwa scoring the run.
A good job by Freer to beat it out. Remember earlier in the game there was a double play from Mangini. They had runners at the corners, and that did not allow runs to come in a 9-0 game. But good job beating it out at first base. Now 17-2, and only one more run, and we will have a football score once again at 17-3.
Zach late with runners on the corners and 2 outs. That one a little bit outside, so 1-1 now, the count on late. So far today, 2 ground outs and a strikeout. Looking for a big swing here to try and keep a rally going here in the 8th inning. Hits it on the ground to the right side, handling it on a few hops. Thrown over to first base is Addison Klepsch in time for out number 3. Saints get one more back, and this game heads to the final frame, 17-2 our score. We're into the final frame here in Pasadena. Top of the 9th inning. As we get ready to get underway here, it'll be Cole Chamberlain, Liam Wilson, who checked in the spot of Zane Becker, and Brady Janusek, the 7, 8, 9 spots of the order due up.
Can we get a shot of the scoreboard on our screen right now? Because it's 0-0.
Scoreboard with a little bit of a malfunction. Working on getting it back up, but we are 17-2 our score here going into the 9th inning. As Cole Chamberlain digs in, he's got 2 doubles on the day so far, 3 runs scored, a walk as well, and came around to score all 3 times. Strikeout and a ground out now in his 6th plate appearance so far. Check swing on the inside pitch, but not going around. Joey Parrish back out on the mound for his 2nd inning of work after giving up a 1-out single last inning, but then stranding him with a strikeout and a ground out to retire the side. 1 inning pitched, 1 hit, and 1 strikeout for him as that one catches a piece of the elbow.
Oh, come on. He didn't try to get out of the way. Got to try to get out of the way, man. 17-2 game.
Up steps Liam Wilson for his second plate appearance today after being a defensive substitution an inning or two ago. Struck out his first time up back in the 7th inning, now getting another opportunity here in the 9th. That one in there for a called strike.
I really like what Parrish has done. He's got great stuff. Maybe the best stuff, definitely up there in terms of stuff so far on the Saints team. These pitches really move.
Fouled off. Count goes to 1-2. Called strike 3 on the low outside corner. Liam Wilson rung up. 2 strikeouts on the day so far. 1 gone here in the 9th. Up steps Brady Janusek. 2 singles, a walk, a pop out, and a strikeout. First offering low and away out of the hand of Parrish. Got a ground out, then gave up a single. Got another strikeout and another ground out last inning. So now up to 2 strikeouts. That one's a called strike. Count goes to 1-1 on Janusek. That one down low, 2-1.
Got any plans for the 4th of July this weekend?
Not off the top of my head, no. Although, with the 4th of July and the CCL All-Star Game going on this Saturday, should be a pretty busy day. If we don't get another opportunity, I'd like to give everybody very happy 4th of July wishes.
250th.
America's 250th.
Yeah.
Pretty cool.
Just 250 years ago today, we signed the Declaration of Independence and put a treasure map on the back of it.
For then Nicolas Cage to go hunt that thing down and get that treasure.
Exactly.
Great movie.
What are your thoughts on National Treasure 2? Are you a fan of it, or?
I like the first one better.
Yeah,
for
me
sure.
too. Yeah.
You know, the second one, I mean, obviously, you got a treasure map on the back of the Declaration of Independence in the first one, and in the second one, you're talking about a lost city in the Mount Rushmore. But
yeah,
they're good, fun, adventure movies for sure. The realism doesn't really need to be applied in movies, so yeah, I think they're good, fun watches.
that's part of watching movies, though. It's like suspending the disbelief. That's why there's so many Star Wars fans. I think they suspend the disbelief of, or they suspend their belief of the real world, and they engulf themselves in this universe full of planets and creatures and spaceships and all sorts of things.
Absolutely, and I tell you what, I'm a big Star Wars fan myself, so.
Oh, really?
Yes.
I hope you're not a prequels lover, because
Oh.
you do like them or you don't like them? I mean, I think the prequels are fine, but they're not as good as the original trilogy.
I would agree with that.
Yeah.
100%. 100%.
Yeah. I
Yes.
actually quite enjoy Attack of the Clones. I think it's very overhated.
Interesting.
But nothing as good as 4, 5, 6.
No doubt. No
And
doubt.
then obviously we can all agree that the sequel's not needed.
Yes, the sequels are definitely just not important. Aiden Camberg at the top of the Foresters lineup in a 3-1 count after Brady Janusek walked. So now 2 runners on base with 1 out. 17-2 ball game here in the 9th inning. Popped up, heading into foul territory, and it's out of play. Did that hit the railing of our side press box
I think
here?
it did.
I It's kind of cool. Wish somebody caught that. That would have been super cool. Although we have the tents over our heads, so we can't really see it.
That is true. I had to lean forward and look over the tent to see where the foul ball was going.
Payoff pitch in the air, shallow left field. Panarisi long run, slides, won't get there. Throw into the cutoff man, Jacob Freer. Runners going up station to station. Bases loaded here with one gone.
Well, I like the effort from Panarisi in a 17-2 game of the 9th inning. You just want to lay out and try to make a sensational play out there in left field. Didn't get it, but the ball not hit sharply enough that it's going to get further by him. So able to pick it up and only a one base hit off the bat.
Fastball right down the middle to Landon Schaefer, and in the spirit of America's 250th birthday, that was the 250th pitch thrown on the Arroyo Seco Saints pitching staff tonight.
Wow.
Which is kind of cool. That one low, good stop by Nishiwa to knock that one down. 1-1 count with one gone and the bases loaded. Cole Chamberlain on third base, he was hit by the pitch. Brady Janisek on second, who was walked, and Aiden Camberg on first base after his single just an at-bat ago. Now Landon Schaefer, who checks his swing. Peel down to first, did not go around, so the count goes to 2-1. Schaefer checked in a little while ago as a pinch hitter. So far tonight, 2 strikeouts swinging. Checked in the spot of Sawyer Farr. Farr with a ground out, a strikeout, a walk, and a home run to his stat line tonight. That one outside. Count goes to 3-1. Three-one pitch. Big swing and a miss. And a good toss there by Parrish on the mound, inducing that one. So now the count goes full. The bases loaded and one out. Payoff pitch. Swing and a miss. 3 strikeouts on the night for Landon Schaefer. Picking up strikeout number 3 on the outing is Joey Parrish for out number 2 here in the ninth.
I really like what Joey Parrish has done tonight. In this at-bat, falls behind 3-1 and says, the fastball's my best pitch. I'm just going to throw it to him, and if he beats me, and he blows it by him twice for the second out.
Now Addison Klepsch takes called strike 1.
We were talking about National Treasure and then about Star Wars. I'm interested to know your letterboxed, your 4 favorite movies, but let's save it for the bottom of the ninth so we have the half-inning break to think about it.
We can do that. I will get to thinking. That one down in the zone. Klepsch up for his 7th plate appearance tonight. And in order from the first inning up till now, strikeout, flyout, single, walk, strikeout, ground out. Now in a 1-1 count with the bases loaded and 2 gone.
Also got a free agency update. Bogdan Bogdanovic has signed a 1-year deal with the Houston Rockets.
Can't lie to you. No idea who that is.
Really? Have you heard about his brother Bojan Bogdanovic? Bojan and Bogdan, the Bogdanovic brothers?
Not really
that's not even that much
basketball
ball
like
knowledge,
that.
man.
I can't watch basketball nowadays, man.
I bet
the
you if
whole
we asked
spirit of
everybody else-
basketball is just gone down the drain.
I know, but Bojan and Bogdan were big-time players in the 2010s. I bet you everybody else here at least has some idea of who they are.
Sorry, maybe I'm
No,
just not
it's
tapped
okay.
in like
It's
that.
okay. It's all right.
I mean,
you know.
I'm taking college basketball over NBA
It's fair.
every day of the week
It's
and
fair.
twice on Sundays.
I'll say this much. I think college basketball has the most electric season of any sport, collegiate or professional.
3-1. Just a little bit upstairs. That's ball 4 to walk in a run. 18-2 ball game here in the 9th inning.
Well, the second straight batter that Parrish got fell behind, rather, in a 3-1 count. He battled back, strike out Schaefer, but unable to find the zone, and Look at the scoreboard, 3-6-2-3-0-1. So 6 of the last 7 innings, the Foresters have scored. And
Unintentional
a lot of
6-7.
6-7. Saints, you know how many
Unintentional
runs they're
6-7
averaging
now.
on the year?
6.7.
Bingo.
Called strike on the inner edge to Carter Rutenbar, who's up for his 7th plate appearance tonight. 1-1 the count. Big buzz now in basketball is where's LeBron James going to sign?
That is the question.
What's your opinion? You're a big LeBron fan.
I am a LeBron fan.
On the ground, right side. Foul ball. Seems like it hit off the foot of
Yeah.
Carter Rutenbar, so 1-2 now our count.
You know, if I had to make a pick right now, I would go with the Cavaliers. I just think it's too perfect of a story for him to go to Cleveland, to Miami, back to Cleveland, to the Lakers, and then to Cleveland to finish off his career. But from a personal standpoint, I think it would be super fun to see LeBron in Golden State playing alongside Steph Curry. It's always a treat, you know, whether it's 15, 10, 5 years ago, to see those guys in the All-Star game, and to see it for a full regular season would be awesome.
A little bit of a confusing play unfolding here. I'm not really too sure what happened.
I think the ball glanced off of Nishiwa's glove, and the batter and the runner thought it was a foul ball, so he didn't go home. But it wasn't a foul ball, and now it's just 2-2.
2-2 with the bases loaded and 2 gone. Parrish delivers. That one's upstairs. Count goes full. Yeah, I think it, going back to the whole LeBron thing, really depends on how much he feels he has left in the tank. If he has 1 year left, he'll probably go to Cleveland, would be my guess. If he has 2 or 3, maybe he goes to Golden State for a year. And on the hands, flip to first base, foul ball over the head of Zach Late. So we'll do it again. But if he feels if he has more than 1 year left, I think he goes to Golden State to team up with, you know, Steph Curry and, you know, that arguably the 2 best players of the generation going together for one final season. And then I feel like, you know, I'm not a huge LeBron fan myself, but it would be wrong for him to not end with like a 1 year contract in Cleveland.
Yeah, I think maybe something like that happens. I think he's kind of been taking it year by year, at least from what's been reported in the media. But how great of a storyline would it be if LeBron and Steph, these 2 players who have been feuding in these NBA Finals, each have 4 rings, and then they team up together to help each other get a 5th?
Payoff pitch upstairs. That's ball 4 to bring in another run. 19-2 our score here, as that's the 2nd RBI walk in a row here in the 9th inning. Silent first portion of this game, going scoreless in the first 2 innings, but then scoring in every inning since then except for the 8th for the Santa Barbara Foresters. They still have bases loaded and 2 outs for Joseph Sandusky.
Well, the good news for the Saints is that they don't have to see the Foresters the rest of the year. They don't have any more matchups with them in the regular season, and the Foresters do not play in the CCL playoffs. So this will be the last time these 2 teams square off until the 2027 collegiate summer baseball season, and Saints are going to go to 0-4 against the Foresters on the year.
The Foresters, a legendary summer baseball team here on the West Coast, really strong year after year for so many years. 17-3 record, soon to be 18-3 here in just a few moments once this one wraps up. But yeah, really strong team, really strong program, and you know, they've definitely shown it against the Saints so far this summer. So we're in a 2-0 count to Joseph Sandusky. That one's a little bit outside. Count goes to 3-0. Three-0 pitch. outside, ball 4. 3 RBI, bases loaded, walks in a row. That brings in run number 20 for the Santa Barbara Foresters.
All right, I got my 4 movies. You want to hear them?
Let me hear him.
All right, number 1, we've mentioned it on broadcasts before. You told me you haven't seen it, is The Princess Bride. Number 2, you definitely have seen it, National Treasure. Number 3, I'm going to have to go with the original Top Gun. And number 4, I'm going to have to go with what, in my opinion, it's not my favorite, but I think it is a perfect movie just in terms of everything, Back to the Future.
It's a good 4. I will say, I'm not sure if it's a hot take. I don't know where sort of the public opinion lies on it, but I'm more of a Top Gun 2 fan than I am a Top Gun 1.
They're both really good movies.
They're both incredible movies.
They're both really good movies.
Absolutely.
I like Top Gun 2 as well. That, honestly, is probably in my top 10. But I saw the first one first, and very nostalgia factor. Because that one was the one that kind of started the revolution towards Top Gun 2.
Right.
I kind of have to lead the original, but
Right.
you can definitely make the case for both, and people do.
I think if I had to give you my top 4, it would probably be Star Wars Return of the Jedi is probably my number 1. Ocean's 11, 2.
Oh, Ocean's. Oh, I thought you were saying. Yeah, I got it.
No, Ocean's 11
It's
is the
number
two
2
spot.
Got
Yep.
it. Yeah. That's a good movie.
Owen
That's
Pitch
got, like,
popped
the
up,
most
falling out of play.
Star-studded cast of all time,
Oh,
pretty
100%.
much.
I mean, that is a great movie with a great cast. 3, I'd probably say maybe that's where Top Gun 2 fits in. Top Gun Maverick, if you will. And then 4th, I'd probably say like Interstellar.
I've never seen Interstellar.
Really?
Nope, never seen it.
Put it on the list. It's long, but it's incredible. 0-2 pitch. Outside. Count moves to 1-2 on Chris Newstrom. 7th plate appearance. Batted twice in the 4th inning. 2 singles back in the 6th and the 7th inning. Another 6-7 for you.
Yeah, you know, my kind of thing is that I haven't seen Interstellar. I kind of like to have those things where it's just things about me. Until I was 18 years old, I actually had never chewed gum before. Because one day I realized, hey, I'm like 13 years old, I've never chewed gum. So I'm like, I'm just going to make this my thing, that I don't chew gum. And then
Interesting.
I chewed gum, and now I chew gum all the time. But until that point, I was a non-gum chewer. And
That's
at
curious.
this point, I'm still a non-Interstellar viewer.
I would highly recommend.
I
It's a
will
really
see
good
it.
movie.
I will see it.
At some point.
That's Matthew McConaughey's in that one, right?
Yes. 2-2. Fawn off, out of play. Yeah, it's Matthew McConaughey, Anne Hathaway, and who's the other big name? Matt Damon, I think.
Could be right. I don't know. I haven't seen it.
Yep. Two balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, bases loaded, 20-2 ball game here in the 9th inning. That one's upstairs. The count goes full. Base runners will get a head start here. It's been 3 straight RBI walks for the Foresters to score their 3 runs this half inning. Putting up multiple runs from the 3rd inning till now, except for the 8th. As Parrish deals the payoff pitch, and it's outside. That's ball 4. Now, 4 straight RBI walks for the Santa Barbara Foresters, and they go up 21-2. Mound meeting going to be called by Arroyo Seco. They're going to go to the bullpen to look to get the final out here in the top of the 9th. We'll kick it quickly to break and be right back after this. 2 outs here in the top of the 9th inning. Already 4 in the bank this half inning for the Foresters. They're up 21-2. And a new arm is Brandon Mullen, looking to get the final out here in the top of the 9th inning. Send the Saints to their last offensive half inning before this one is inevitably going to end. First pitch strike in there to Cole Chamberlain, who's now batting for his 2nd time this half inning. Started this inning off with a leadoff hit by pitch. Would come around to score 1 of the 4 runs so far. He scored 4 runs on the night tonight overall.
Is it 20-2 or 21-2?
21 now. Scoreboard is a little behind.
Got it.
1-1 the count. Chamberlain doubled, came around to score. Grounded out, struck out, walked, came around to score. RBI double, came around to score, and a hit by pitch to come around to score. And he'll get hit by the pitch again.
It's a pretty fun score, though, 22-2. In honor of Clayton Kershaw, 22 runs.
Or Taylor Swift. I don't know about you, but I'm feeling 22.
Oh, I do love myself some Taylor Swift. I can't lie.
Swifty. What's your favorite Taylor Swift song?
Good question. I'm going to go with Fearless. Do you know that one?
I do know that one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Kid's got a little ball
I'm familiar.
knowledge.
I'm tapped in a little bit with the
How about you?
Swiftness style for sure.
So basic, man.
I don't care.
Fearless
if it's
is pretty basic
That's
too,
a
to be
great
honest.
song,
I'll be
man.
honest. Yeah, style.
I don't care if it's basic. It's a great song.
It is. It is. Fearless is kind of basic.
Liam
too.
Wilson for his 2nd plate appearance this half inning. Called strike 2. 0-2 the count to Wilson. He's got 2 strikeouts so far today. And I would agree with our broadcast producer, Jack Padsey. This one's lined down the left field line. He just slid me a note that says Katy Perry solos Taylor Swift. And I would agree with that one. I'm a Katy Perry over T Swift. Don't get me wrong. T Swift has some great songs. They're not up to par with Katy Perry, though.
I just think they're different.
0-2, called strike 3. And that'll do it for the Foresters offense today, putting up 22 runs as the Saints chase 20 come the bottom of the 9th. It's the last of the 9th and the last of this ball game here in Pasadena. 22-2 our score as the Saints chase 20 in the 5, 6, 7 spots of the order due up. Mangini, Brandon Wynn, Donnie Morgan. That one's a little bit inside. Ball 1. Saints going to need maybe the greatest baseball miracle of all time to pull this one off. But at this stage in the game, you just like to, for the guys who are going to get their at-bats, have good ones, as this one's on the ground to the first baseman, Rutenbar, who flips to the pitcher and gets the out at first base.
Yeah, if the Saints could pull this off, this would be more impressive than Ron and Hermione breaking out of the friend zone at the end of Harry Potter 7 Part 2. That's how impressive this would be.
Mm-hmm. And now we were talking about movies last half inning. I have not seen a single Harry Potter movie.
Star Wars are better.
Yeah.
Yeah,
okay.
they're better.
Yeah, that's how I feel, even though I've never seen Harry Potter. I don't think anything's beaten Star Wars. But first pitch to Brandon Wynn on the ground. High chopper to the third baseman. Throws across. Landon Schaefer to Carter Rutenbar for out number 2. Up steps Donnie Morgan for his second plate appearance of the day. Struck out his first time up. Called strike at the knees. 0-1 the count. One and one.
I'm very excited for the game tomorrow because it will be my first time meeting our 4th broadcaster, Dylan DeCesare.
A little bit inside. Yeah, it'll be a good one down there. You guys get to meet Dylan. It'll be Dylan DeCesare and Max Langer on your call tomorrow night down at the MLB. Is it here? Here. Excuse me. Here
That's
in
okay.
Pasadena against the MLB Academy Barons.
Yeah.
As the count moves to 1-2 on Donnie Morgan. Actually, I believe it's 2-2 with 2 gone. On the ground, second base, Klepsch to first. That'll do it here in Pasadena. 22-2 our final score, Max. Just a rough one for the Saints.
Yeah, not much positive you can take away. Sean Asperger had a nice day. Joey Parrish had some really nice stuff on the mound for the Saints, but again, you lose 22-2. You're really searching, struggling to find the silver linings. Good news for the Saints, it's just one game. As bad as it was, you can flush it. Try to come back tomorrow and pick up a win against another conference opponent in Compton.
It'll be tomorrow at 5:35, our scheduled first pitch here in Pasadena. Arroyo Seco Saints playing host to the MLB Academy Barons. Max Langer and Dylan DeCesare with your call tomorrow night. But that'll do it from here in Pasadena for tonight. Santa Barbara Foresters, a 22-2 victory over the Arroyo Seco Saints. And on behalf of everybody here, the Arroyo Seco Saints Baseball Organization, we thank you for tuning in. On behalf of my broadcast producer, Jack Badsey, my broadcast partner, Max Langer, I'm Riley Horn, signing off, wishing you a great rest of your evening.